Fuck you. We're live.
We are not.
We are not at this very second, but we're about to be.
And how do I know? Because I'm on Black Culture Geek page right now.
Matters none.
Nigga.
Matters none. We're live.
Oh, boy.
You just, we
I
live.
swear.
Let me get this. Copy this and put it in the places on the pages on the fake, the face blicky.
Copy. Man, oh man, the shit.
That phone call was right on time.
I don't believe it was.
No, look at literally.
Probably should have been like around 10.
No, because then I would have had to been on the phone longer.
I mean, you had time to, metabolize what was saying said.
Nope, not necessary. I already kind of figured. No, the funny thing about it is I already kind of figured that's how it went. I just didn't have confirmation. But now, oh yeah. I feel good about my decision now because I am justified.
You might just need
shoosh. All right, it is being slow. Face Bickety is being slow. Where's the surprise? Why am I not surprised? This is my surprise face.
That's your surprise face?
Yeah. All right. Share it to Face Bickety. Shared to BCG.
As I look on the
World
on the channel, my face looks to be kind of in shadows a bit. So hold on for a second. Make some adjustments.
You are an adjustment. Dang nabbit. All right. Okay. We got that. We have liftoff. Why is my shit so ashy? All right. I didn't want to do it. That's much better. Huh. Interesting. Didn't realize. Okay, whatever. Much better. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
It's much brighter.
Yeah.
But much better.
Yeah, I don't see really shadows.
Yeah.
There's a profile.
Yeah, right on this side, I believe.
Yeah.
That's because of where this secondary light is. It's not really. My fill light doesn't really feel much. Fill light doesn't really feel much, but I just need a solution for that. Like I need another light right there on that side. You are shoosh. Oh man. These are crazy days. Crazy days.
You are crazy, dude.
Absolutely. I'm part of it. I literally, I had a chance to end.
You had no chance.
I had a chance to end all of this.
I
chose not to take it because Captain's got to teach stuff. And certain things y'all was going to have to see yourselves, man. I said it. I knew it would come to this.
Did you? Did you know?
But here's the bright side. I will be experiencing this with you.
I really doubt it.
This is the right. I'm here.
I'm not sure how that's helpful. I'm just not.
That's a good point, because me being here to see it, even though I will be experiencing the same things you will, I'm here merely as an observer, waiting to laugh and do the "I told you so." So it's probably not a good thing for most people that I'm still, because if I left, I wouldn't even be talking about this shit now.
Clearly.
In fact, we'd have been doing this show if you were still here and I had left. And I'd have been asking you, like, yo, I'm hearing things.
Listen.
I'm hearing things.
Listen. I don't have money. But what I do have,
this nigga
is a particular set of skills. I will look for you.
Oh boy,
I will find you.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a pretty big island. It's pretty big island. Kind of low tech down there. I mean, I'm pretty sure the golf carts don't.
All I gotta do is look for the golf cart with the big nigga with the bald head.
Look, man. I'm just saying.
It ain't gonna be that many of them down there.
Just saying. Like, it gets kind of congested on them San Pedro streets.
Man.
Woo! 2020.
It's not a real thing.
It's not done taking.
No, 2020 is not a real thing.
Listen.
I'm convinced. I'm convinced that we're in a simulation right now.
Well, that is possible, considering all that we've seen. Like, it's like we're gonna throw everything.
There's no way. Yeah, like, realistically, sure, it's absolutely possible, but from a ideological standpoint, realistically,
right?
What are the chances of all of this shit happening at the same time? Like,
well, here's the thing. I would argue that this didn't all just happen. I would argue
facts.
That, these things were building.
These things ran their course.
And to be honest with you, maybe some things were sped along because of the pandemic. Like a lot of the ways people feel about each other has been exposed. Really, people have been exposing themselves for the last couple of years online. Just, but more so than ever, certain situations have been pushed to the forefront.
Yeah.
That has allowed people to expose themselves. Like the shield they used to put up after, at some point they took Martin Luther King and turned him into Santa Claus, and basically used his legacy to wag their fingers at any of us that didn't think exactly like that, and also used him, or should I say their version of him,
right,
to suppress any radical voices. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think that all of this stuff was kept behind a mask because you were shamed at a small segment of history from 55 years, 60 years ago to now. There was a small window where saying such things and acting that way was frowned upon. And if you look in the history, the scale of history, it was a small window of time, right? But this pandemic has people on edge. Then when they see some shit that this is not right, this is some bullshit. So people been cooped up, Can't go anywhere. What they do? We going out there and let these motherfuckers know you can't have this pandemic shit and this too. You can't listen. We not gonna take that bull. So everything else is shut down, but this, you know what I'm saying? Nah, hell no, right? But that allowed other people that was cooped up and have been cooping up the way they actually feel about other people to lash out. This gave them an incentive to, I guess, to say something that they always wanted to say, but they be frowned upon.
Say something.
Say something. Look, these motherfuckers I'm thinking I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they went and said something. And they exposed themselves. We seen it. Look, you and I personally have seen people, you know, out and out expose who they really are, what they, you know, this, that, and other. So, like, I do believe the pandemic has sped along stuff, because last year, when me and my wife was talking about, oh, we leaving. That simpler, scaled down life, none of the little dumbass conversations that's being had in the States is being had down there. Like, these people, I'm rolling. We had no idea that a year later, this shit would degenerate to this. No idea. So our timeline has been completely truncated because we got some years, build our cake up, establish our resources, you know, our residual income, so that this is we go in hot. Yeah, we can go in hot, right? No, as turns out, we didn't have the time we thought. We didn't.
I said that the time bomb, the time bomb went off a little bit different.
It did, Joe. It did
than what it read.
It did, Joe. It really did.
You thought that was a 9. You were looking at it upside down.
Yeah, nigga, I thought it was actually a 6. It was actually a 6. You know what I'm saying? So, like, unfortunately, so I do have an idea. This is going to be ass, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes about how to finesse what's about to happen, because within all of the bullshit that takes place, there is an out. It just depends on how people choose to look at it. Right? There is an out. There is still a something there in the play, because look, the focus of this administration, and really most administrations, will always be the wealthy. Yeah, that's the focus. It's not us poor folks. It ain't us. They don't give a fuck about us brokey Smurfs. They don't care. They don't really give a fuck. You are here for a purpose, and that is to be a serf. You are what they say in ancient Sumerian, Lulu Amalu, primitive worker. That's what the fuck you are, all right? So they don't care about you. They don't care about you. So since they care about the wealthy, there are things within that you may can invest in, even if it's a little, but you don't need much. You don't have some big corporate machine that you gotta know. You just need enough for you to survive. And if you get that, and then go someplace. Are you
suggesting that we kidnap the wealthy people?
No, I would never suggest that. I mean,
my bad.
First of all, you got to feed them, and I ain't doing that.
Do we have to?
You'd be better off with the guillotine, but that's a whole other thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing. But no, basically what I'm saying is you stack your chips, you take advantage, and you're gonna have to be a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? Selfish, right? And get some cake up. You're gonna have to work a little harder, get some cake up, invest that in something, make the amount of money that you need, then you go someplace else where that money is double, triple what it's worth here. And you set up, and you already tell yourself, because I know other people that when they want to leave, they want to go someplace that is comparable, right? They want a comparable infrastructure They want a comparable lifestyle. Me,
Mm-hmm.
I just need the bare minimum. If I got electricity, internet, place to go get me some food, if I got my residual income set up the way I wanted to set up in a nice place, I just need nice weather. I need nice weather, electricity. I don't need all that other shit. As long as I can keep doing my content and other things that ways to make money, which we would be doing online mostly, right? I don't need none of that other shit. I like green shit anywhere, like green grass, trees.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about metropolises. I don't care about metropolitan areas. I don't really give a fuck about that shit. Like, it's nice when you're there, but then I get tired of it. And I'm ready to go back to see some green. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care about that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
As long as I can keep doing my content and I can play my video games and be with my wife and family, I'm gonna fuck about none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? But while I'm here, I gotta deal with it. And unfortunately, I gotta deal with it a lot sooner than I thought I was gonna have to deal with this. I thought we would just be leaving as all
you stupid. You stupid.
As all of this collapsed.
So I had a plan.
What we used to say in the when I was a Muslim is like, you plan to plan and Allah planned to plan. But Allah is the best of planners. So, like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's pretty much, it is what it is. It's not like I didn't see a lot of this coming. I just didn't see it coming this soon.
Yeah.
And truth be told, there are still things that can mitigate it, but it ain't much. It ain't much. And I don't think people realize, I don't think people realize how much trouble they're actually in. They never do though. They never do.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's that one brand.
It's on brand. They never realize how much trouble they're in until it's right in your fucking face. And now you're trying to adapt on the run. And that is not as easy as people make it seem. Like, humans are not that adaptable. They're really not. Humans are creatures of habit.
Are you saying we're not adaptoids?
They are not adaptoids. They are so far from adaptoids. Adaptoids are relentless.
Yeah.
However, after this patch, they don't seem as musty, especially in numbers. They don't seem as musty. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how they was.
Oh God.
They used to get hyper aggressive, especially switch that. They come in hot.
Facts.
For those who was watching, we haven't really officially started the show yet. We're talking about the Marvel Avengers game, right?
Yeah.
Those adaptoids come in hot. They come in on some, I am all boom. That is.
Like, oh, the fuck you mean? Wait, hold on. I didn't even know you was here, cuz.
Right.
What are you doing?
Dude.
You're supposed to announce yourself. Are you new?
Dude, those super adaptoids, the ones of them that come like laced with powers. They shoot fire beams, throwing fireballs. What about the ones that float in the air that has like,
and they attack so much faster? Yo, listen. I had never had an issue with actually falling through. Yeah. I told you I had that one thing where like I fell halfway through, but I had a character that could fly, so it was fine.
Right.
Nigga. I don't remember. It was sometime this week I was playing. And I was doing good. I'm because I got my Iron Man up to level 50, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, he doing his thing, yeah.
Doing what he's supposed to be doing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm fighting, and one of them fucking adaptoids comes, right? And you know how they throw the little thing?
Yeah.
And if you go near it, you get stuck in it?
Yes.
So it was in the ceiling, and I didn't realize that it was that. I thought it was him.
Right.
So I'm flying towards it. I get stuck. So it's hit X. I'm hitting X.
Yo,
when
change
I come
that,
out of it.
Go into your options and change that to a tap, yo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I come out of it and I'm outside now.
Outside the world.
I'm outside. I'm on top of the building.
Wow.
That everybody else is in fighting. So I can't get back in. So I'm like,
you ran.
I'm walking around.
Branded. Scorned
I
is
fell
the one
off.
who ran. You ran.
I fell off. I fell off onto another platform, and I thought that was my way back in. No, there's glass that is unbreakable. I can see the action. I can see the action.
So
I can
you see
everybody
your boys on there rumbling.
Yeah, and I can't help. I'm sitting there like, I can't help. There's nothing I can do. So how the fuck did I get back in? Another one happened. Like he threw another one, and I ended up like mistakenly running into it, and that brought me back inside.
So he brought you back in for this. You don't get to escape this ass.
Listen. Funny thing is, though, by the time I got out of it, he was gone.
Oh, I
so
think Thor must have took him down.
They put hands and feet on that man. I'm glad they waited till I got back inside.
Right.
I don't know how to, because I did not want to do that all over again.
Yeah.
Because it was at how they have the like multi-level mission.
Oh, you was on that one.
Yeah. So I had been in this damn mission for 10 minutes already. And now we inside. I don't want to start the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah, over. I feel you.
I just don't. I just don't.
I
had another glitch like that yesterday.
Did you?
Where not like that. But it was one of those vault missions where you gotta secure the area, then go back to the door,
right?
And then they come, and then you gotta go secure other areas and come back to the door. I got to the last one.
Oh.
And when I killed the last enemy, I don't know if I used Hulkbuster or if I used the Pulsar, the Unibeam. I think I used the Unibeam. When the Unibeam ran out, the entire screen was white.
Ooh.
I still had my icons to know where I was supposed to go, but couldn't see shit else. The screen was white. So I'm walking towards it because I can still see the checkpoints.
You start walking towards the light?
I started walking towards it. And I remember, shit, there's something that I have to interact with in order to move on.
Right.
And I can't fucking see it. So I hit reload checkpoint and thinking that it would bring me to like that last one. No, it brought me back to the beginning of that part. Oh, I was heated.
I know. I was
so heated.
I would have been.
I was ready to get off too. I was like, all right, this is like this. I'm about to close the game after I.
But I'm gonna get this. Mission. Yeah, I'm gonna beat this. Right,
nigga. Started. I'm like, fuck it. I got to do it again. I got to do it again.
So wait a minute. You've played since the patch, of course.
No, that was before. Remember, I told you it must have updated. That was before that. That was before that.
Okay, so
that was before that.
You had a chance to play since yesterday.
No, okay. I turned it. I was working on music this morning and got stuck in that
word. No, I get it. I get it.
So yeah, that's how that happened. But anyway, let's get this thing started.
Let's get it started.
All right. We are
recording.
We are recording. Ging.
Yes. Yeah. Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ. And I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective. Facts indeed. Now, we have quite a bit to go through today. Pretty sure there'll be some rather toasty takes.
I mean, listen, it's an episode full of fussing. I'm just gonna
it's gonna be fussing. Episode.
It is what it is.
Now I do know that SBJ has a couple of things that he wants to get into. I just really have one thing to say before he does. It won't really that long. And I don't know when someone this applies to will listen to this episode. But I'm putting it out there just in case they come across it, right? So if you are a African American in this country with some means, might be a good idea yesterday to do some investments in Africa. Because if I get that you have been taught certain things about that place, I get it. There was a reason you were taught those things. There's been a divisive tactic being used to divide you from not only your family, I'm referring to our ancestors that were enslaved, but there's also been a tactic to divide you from the continent and the people that are over there now currently.
Yeah.
Through narratives that we just believe for whatever reason. But please believe there is value over there. Your family comes from there. You could do a lot to help the people over there and to help yourself by investing over there. Because when you don't see the value in something, don't think other people don't.
Yeah.
There are other people that do see the value in it, and they are going hard.
Yeah.
They're going hard. So I'm saying this to you because the thing, if you don't take care of this now, if you don't get involved now and engage now, in about 10 to 20 years, you're not going to like what you see over there. You're not going to like what you see over there. Yeah. And not because it's going to be doing bad financially or infrastructure-wise. No, quite the opposite.
Yeah.
Quite the opposite. Because there is a lot of investment happening over there in places like Gambia, Ghana. Those things are not being funded by people who have blood in that soil. You understand? There's a second, I don't even know if this is the second. There is a new wave of colonization happening over there.
Yeah.
You're not going to like what you see in 10, 20 years. There's people that are about to get very wealthy over there, and they ain't going to really help the people. And they're going to put them in the same position that a lot of us are in over here. Working every day, paycheck to paycheck. And sure, on the outside of it, for some of them, it looks like a come up. But overall, the only people that will be coming up and benefiting from that won't be the diasporans.
It's the other.
So take that for what you will, and please, by all means, go look up the OIC Gambian Summit 2022. Go look that up, see who's funding it, see what the plan is. And that's all I'm gonna say. Play games in 10 to 20 years. Y'all not gonna like what y'all see over there.
Very, very, very.
And please, I need for you guys to help me with something today. Would you please tell SVJ to stop trying to escape? He keeps trying to escape.
I keep telling you that's not what happened.
Look, man.
You uncultured swine. God. All right. So from the top. Shut up. From the top. Updates. There's some updates.
There's a few updates.
Such. All right. So culture check. There is an update. I actually recorded a video that's going to come out within a week or so.
Oh damn! Excuse me. Where is that going exactly? How are they able to find that?
I don't freaking know. Oh. It's going somewhere.
Might I suggest either Patreon? You want to be Patreon or the Multi-World channel?
Yeah, it's probably going to be on the Multi-World Facebook page. This particular video,
we got to do a little better. It's damn near official. We are a podcast network.
Well, sure. Yeah,
it's damn near official. It's time for us to start doing what we need to do on our big branded page, the branded page. You know what I'm saying? We got work to do. We got work to do.
So a part of that update is music. There's new music coming. Surprisingly, every now and then people have been asking me. So I know that with some of you, I've been kind of non-committal about the music because I'm pretty much done with the whole promising something's gonna happen and then
it's not really a good look.
So it's not that I had less issue putting these projects, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I said projects with an S, together than anything. Honestly, there's been really no holdups with this process, but still, I just want to be that guy that's sure when I say something's about to happen. I just want to be that guy this time. Let me be that guy. Because I've always been the guy that's like, all right, this is happening then at this point in time, and then coming back later, like, okay, yeah, remember when I said so we're gonna pivot from that, and now we're gonna be the guy that's sure. We're gonna be that guy.
Yeah.
So there's a project coming out at the end of this month, and then there's a project coming out in November. So the specifics of which will be forthcoming. It's not necessary for you, just throw it out there for y'all to chomp on for a little bit.
Just marinate.
Let that marinate in your mind. For a little bit. All right, so now let's talk about this thing. Yeah. So update. I've touched on this before, but for some people that may be new since then or whatever. I have a very interesting history with planning trips. I'm not going to go into the details about that, but this last,
hold on.
This
talk about listen. I have heard understatements before, but as understatements go,
bruh,
we are not worthy.
Listen. I have a very interesting history with planning trips. That's all that needs to be said.
He said it again.
That's all that needs to be said for the people to get the gist of what I'm saying, because I'm going to go into detail about the latest situation. So I do have to give this little bit of backstory. So the last trip that I went on to Cancun, there were issues with that, blah, 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 blah. And after that, I declared I am retired from being in charge of the trip planning for XYZ amount of time.
Oh.
Now, I actually... believe me. People didn't believe me, but I actually stuck. I actually stuck to that. I don't know if
that's right.
I don't think stuck is a word.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I don't think that's a word. I actually stuck to that. It appeared as though I wasn't sticking to that, and I understand why. Because I had an idea. Well, I don't even know if it was my idea, but
if you even had it.
Honestly, I was first and second in line with having the idea of going to Jamaica for this year. But I reiterated that entire time to anybody who I was talking to about it.
Right.
I am not in charge here. This is not me planning this trip. I simply want to go. I'm extending this offer to you. This is the travel agent. Here's her information. Don't talk to me about this trip.
Yo, hold on, stop. Man, you just can't be telling grown people not to talk to you.
Nigga, okay. Have you met me?
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
Yo, listen.
This nigga sound like...
If you want to have a regular conversation about the trip, how you're excited, how things you might want to do, we can have that conversation. But as far as the planning of don't talk to me about that.
You sound like Anthony Anderson in the first Transformers.
Hey,
when he dipped when the feds came through and he dipped on that on the girls over something. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me, criminal.
Facts. Absolutely. So that's how I carried it. Some of them didn't believe me. They were in for rude awakenings. It just is what it is. Because I understand. Fair enough. I do understand why they would be confused. I get it. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Because I'm the person for a decent percentage of them. I am the person that made them aware of said trip. So I would understand why they would feel like I was in charge. No, absolutely not. Let me disabuse you of that notion immediately. Don't ask me. You can ask if you want, but I'm going to refer you to the travel agent. That's just how that works. So
you're mean.
So this particular person, I didn't even invite on the trip.
Oh, damn.
So this is how these conversations have been going. This is somebody I know. I'm absolutely cool with. It's not an issue of having a conversation with her. But again, to the people I invited, I'm not doing the extra stuff for. Right. So yeah, like, nah, I'm not. Anyway, so here's how this goes. Hey there, stranger. Just checking in on you to see how you're doing. Hope all is well. Wondering if you're still going to Jamaica. This was in July. Now, I've been on here. I haven't talked about it recently, but the last few times that I did talk about it, I clearly expressed that it was not time for me to have to make a definitive decision on whether I was going or not because of the freaking pandemic. There were things going on that were going to potentially alter that plan. So I had always maintained, like, hey, Danny says, please name this episode Stuck Ones. That's hilarious. Yo, I might actually do that. If I promise you this, my memory is shit. But if I remember, will be that.
You'll remember because I'm about to put this in your inbox.
Bet. Like I said, I've always maintained since the pandemic really, took hold, that I am not at a point where I have to make a definitive decision about this trip yet. The trip isn't scheduled until the last week of October. This was June, July, and shit. Like, no, I didn't have to make a decision yet. It wasn't necessary.
No, I feel you.
So I'm like, what'd she say? I said, I'm good. As of now, there are no changes to the trip. And I expressed to her exactly what I just said. Hey, but we are in a pandemic. Yeah. We are in a pandemic. So I don't have to make any definitive decisions yet.
True.
So she hits me back up. Another time. Hey, so I see the plane tickets are cheap. I got my tickets. I paid such and such and such and such. Just letting you know. Oh yeah. I've seen that the tickets have been cheap, but I'm still not making any definitive decisions on the trip. Until I have to. It's still not time to have to do that. A little bit later, she hits me up again. Hey, how are you? Just want to know what's going on with the trip. And I say to her, I'm still not at the point where I have to make any definitive decisions about this trip.
What was taking you so long, boy?
In the middle of a pandemic. And who knows how things are going to be then. As we get closer, I'll assess the situation.
Who indeed knows?
Right. So I had a conversation with the person that actually invited her. This was sometime in the middle of August. Because one of my coworkers, actually two of my coworkers, one of my coworkers decided, yeah, I'm not risking it. I said, fine. I don't blame you at all.
I don't
Absolutely not. So go ahead, hit the travel agent up and get your money back because I'm not doing it for you again because I'm not in charge.
Right.
So she does that. Another one of my coworkers. I'm not playing with this trip. I ain't going. I said, oh yeah, I don't blame you. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I don't feel no way. Like I might be joining you on not going.
Right.
I'm. Yeah. She like, oh, okay. I said, yeah. So again, go ahead, hit the travel agent up. Let them know that you ain't going because that's how you gonna get your money back. Because I ain't had to say this part to her because I ain't gonna do it. Like it ain't for me to do.
It ain't on me.
So again, yeah. So I finally get to the point where I'm like, all right, this person canceled. Number one, two things. One, I have no way of knowing how. Again, this was mid-August. I have no way of knowing where we're gonna be with the pandemic. It's not looking good,
right?
And I have no way of knowing if Jamaica will be allowing us in come time for the trip, what their quarantine rules would be.
If I was them, I wouldn't.
Right. Or what their quarantine rules might be. Like you can come in, but you got to quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah.
Or if Trump, being Trump, puts a ban on a reverse ban on them. Oh, if you come from Jamaica, you got to quarantine for such and such, or you can't get back into the country.
Right.
I don't know these things, so I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm not going.
And that 14-day quarantine thing, that's kind of how they have it in Gambia too. I was watching a video the other day.
Yeah,
you can come there, but you literally have to quarantine for 14 days, and they don't let you go anywhere. Like they put you in the same spot.
You understand how ridiculous that is? Like I don't have. I mean, no, not ridiculous as in like it's a great rule.
No, but for someone that doesn't plan on repatriating,
nigga, right?
You got a vacation. You got 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks that you probably had for your vacation and shit.
Nigga, the vacation was only 5 days.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
So I would have to go 2 weeks ahead of the scheduled time for the vacation in order to enjoy the vacation the way that I wanted to.
Nah, B.
And mind you, whatever. There's a whole thing. It's too much. So I'm like, no, I'm not going. So I'm talking to him and I'm like, yeah, this person canceled, this person canceled, this person canceled. I'm not going.
Right.
And I was like, this is like one of my best friends. I'm like, I kind of suggest you don't either because And he was like, yeah, you're right. Again, he's the person that invited the person that we're talking about. So her name came up when we had that conversation, and I'm like, yeah, what'd she say? And he was like, she said she's still going. I said, all right. Because again, he invited her. And I'm not in charge.
You're not in charge.
Not in charge.
It's not you.
So she hits me up this morning. Hey there, good morning. Was just wondering what's up with the trip. Such and such told me that he stopped paying. Are you still going? Let's stop right there. If the person that invited you tells you that they stopped paying on this trip,
right?
And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this, but at one point this was the case. It might have changed.
Right.
At one point, y'all were supposed to be roommates.
Oh, damn.
I don't know if that changed, but I know for a fact at one point y'all were supposed to be roommates.
Well, maybe she figured that maybe y'all could roommate and then you were still.
I mean, maybe, but why would you just assume I don't have a roommate? But anyway, regardless. So the person that invited you, who was your roommate, is telling you that they've stopped paying for the trip. That's not this isn't a conversation that just happened like yesterday. So now you're texting me. No, This conversation happened a while ago.
T'Challa's interested in what you're saying.
I mean,
he wants to go out. Give me continue.
So basically, she like, what's up with the trip? I said, hey, yeah, I'm not going. Now, mind you, this isn't somebody I talk to all the time. I don't know. Some people might feel like I'm wrong. It is what it is. This isn't somebody.
I feel like you're wrong.
Okay, that's fine. This isn't somebody that I talk to with any regularity, not even just all the time. Like I don't really talk to her at all. Also, yeah, you spelled that wrong.
Shut up.
Also,
ass.
Also, it's like, why are we? Why are we here?
Why are we like this? Why are we
here?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't talk to her, and I've made it clear, even to her.
Did you know?
Even though I didn't invite her, that I am not in charge of this
goddamn
trip.
Yo, Marissa is ridiculous.
What'd she say?
My guy.
Maybe she wants you to be in charge of. That's funny, but I highly doubt that one. But who knows? Who knows?
Sign your name across her.
I mean, listen, who knows?
But to be her babe.
Oh, wow. So anyway, so it's like, all right. I'm like, no, I'm not going. She's like, when was anybody going to communicate that to me?
You were supposed to? Oh, stop.
Right.
Stop,
I don't.
Stop. See, maybe when I went to let the cat out, I missed something. No. That was your responsibility.
Apparently, that was my responsibility. Like, I don't understand. If nothing about our communication has should have, because I can't be held responsible for what you infer from what I say.
Well,
nothing about our communication should have led you to believe that I was gung-ho about this trip once the whole pandemic thing started.
Yeah, but now maybe she figured now that there is a possibility of it being a vacation.
No. Yeah, I don't think so. So I'm like, I honestly thought that he would have told you because, yeah.
That's what I think too, Greg. Greg says she sounds like she had her heart set on something for that trip.
Maybe. But then she's like, so I'm probably going to be out of my money. That's really messed up.
Why would she be out of my money?
My response was, why would you assume that?
Yeah.
Why would you assume that you would be out of your money? And she simply said, well, we'll see. I'm like, okay. I don't listen.
That's weird.
I don't feel bad, and here's why. I'm not in charge of this trip.
No, you're really not in charge of the trip.
I've made it clear to everyone that I talked to that said that they were interested in going.
Here's the problem. The problem is you are known as the trip guy. She
don't know that, though.
She knows.
Some of the people that were supposed to be going on the trip knew.
They've told her as much.
They don't talk to her. Stop it. They don't know her. As a matter of fact, some of them were like, who is this girl that such and such invited? I'm like, I can't really explain it to you because I don't really know her that well, but they worked together somewhere and they've been friends.
Explain to me why she thought you was the one to go to if there isn't this, at the very least, an aura around you.
Here's the thing.
You're the trip planner guy.
You can see what you want to see.
Listen, that
true. Don't mean it's there.
That is true. But here's the problem.
Perception is reality.
Yeah, apparently. but here is the thing. You know, when you get a reputation of being the vacation guy, the paradise guy, that's
I mean,
you book all these. You put all these shows, these trips and shit like that. It's the equivalent. Like, for instance, like a classic example. So I went to the second Reason rally. Now, the first, which I performed there. Yeah. I performed at the first.
Yeah.
Right? It was a lot of people there.
Absolutely.
Right? So when I went the second time, I didn't perform. I'm there as a spectator, just hanging out.
Wait. Greg said she's seeing you on Priceline commercial.
That's
Hilarious.
But yeah, so when I'm in the line, me and Napalm in the line to get some food, somebody that was there at the first rally saw me there, was like, "Hey, you're Tombstone.
Right.
You performing today?" No.
Right.
I'm a spectator like you. Because when he was there the last time, I was performing.
That's the key. That's the key flaw in this analogy. The statement, he was there the first time. She was not around for any other trip.
But I'm sure the legend of SPJ, the trip planner.
Cyrus.
Oh shit.
Cyrus the Virus is in the building.
AKA Super Sci Guy, my co-host of the podcast Metas and Mutants.
Multi-World's own.
Cyrus the Virus.
Man. But yeah, she wasn't around for the other trips.
No, she wasn't. But the legend has preceded you.
That's possible. He might have told her of some of the shenanigans that happened on somebody.
I am fairly certain.
That's fair. That's possible. That's absolutely possible. However, still, I made it abundantly clear.
Did you now?
Yeah. I mean, again, I can't control what someone infers from what I say, but I said the words, "I'm not in charge. If you have any questions or concerns, relay them to the travel agent."
Here's an idea of something you might want to do. So when something like this comes up again and you're not in charge, but you kind of get a feeling that there will be a perception that you are because you have been, make a voicemail. Stating,
I'm going to make a song.
Make a song, a jingle, if
nice
you will.
Little jingle. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Nice little jingle.
Like, let them know.
Anytime somebody texts me with asking for information, I'll just send them the jingle.
Send them the jingle.
Yeah, send them the jingle. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That actually has a higher probability of happening than. But it's like, bruh, nobody told you to be so gung ho about it. And nobody told you that. I don't know. I feel like if the person that invited me, if you invited me somewhere,
right,
and you aren't bringing it up when we talk, and when I bring it up, you're like, kind of non-committal about it,
right.
And then eventually you tell me like, yeah, I haven't even made I haven't made a payment. I'm not going to then be like, yeah, let me make all my payments. Let me pay let me get my plane ticket. No, because
the thing is though, the idea, the part that confuses me is that, like, why would she accept the concept of not getting her money back?
I don't know.
Why
I have no idea. Like, why would you immediately jump there? Now, one thing that she didn't know, which is absolutely a fact, we all have travel insurance because the travel agent fucked something up. Oh, goodness. What are you talking about?
He's ridiculous. He is right now. Ladies and gentlemen, currently, my Siamese cat, T'Challa, he came over here a little earlier and begged to go out. So I let him out. Now he's at the screen door yelling to come back in.
Well, I think it's you. I don't know if he necessarily wants to be in. I think he's looking for you. Like, where the fuck you at, you woman?
First of all, there are plenty of salamanders for him to hunt.
They're not humans.
They're close.
Nah, not close enough. He's bigger than them. He doesn't feel secure.
So he's at the back door with his two paws on the screen.
You're like, come on, Landon.
I just let him out.
No, like, you bring your ass out here.
he should mind his business.
But anyway, I told the travel agent said something would happen a certain way. It didn't happen that way. And I'm like, no, you said this. And in order to make up for that, the travel agent gave us all travel insurance.
Right. Doesn't she have the number to the Call the people and get your money back.
That's what that was my next that was actually my next message to her. Yeah, just email her. I haven't officially canceled yet, but I'm not going. Like, just email her and tell her that you want to cancel. Like, I don't understand. Like,
Cyrus is ass. He says, Tomb, the cat problem is your fault. You named him after a king. Of course, he acts like it.
I mean, and then he's a cat, so that's a terrible combination. I don't know why would you. Anyway, but yeah, like I don't, I feel bad, but I don't feel bad because like you were making a couple of assumptions over there.
Yeah, and assumptions that need not be. Also,
yeah,
the first assumption was you were in charge of that.
Yeah,
but I might give her a pass on that because I mean you are the Dalai Lama of trip
planning. Yeah, but again, she don't know that.
Oh, she heard from your legend is I heard before I even knew you. There's this guy in Baltimore.
That's not what happened. that's obviously not what happened.
Look, all I'm saying is that's one assumption, but then she compiled assumptions. To me, one of the worst. Her assuming you were in charge. Yeah. One of the worst assumptions that you're not gonna get your money back.
That is just be resigned to that,
right? Like I don't understand that. I don't get that at all.
Like no, like I'm not responsible for your money.
No,
however, I would not have such a cavalier attitude if I really think you were about to lose all of your money.
Like, not at all.
Because we are cool. Like I'm not. I don't want you to lose your money. Like that's not what is going on. But what is going on is I'm not in charge.
So you're not going to be doing any of the phone calling. She needs to.
No,
she has the number. She has numbers same way y'all do. Like,
hey, you better hit that lady up today.
Today.
I listen. It's above me. It's above me. There's nothing I can do. And my homeboy, like you heard, my homeboy called right before we went live.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, I'm not bearing all of the responsibility for this because I told her I had stopped paying. And I'm like, I figured as much. I remember, I mean, she said that you told her that you stopped paying, but I guess she might have misunderstood what that mean. And he was like,
possible, I guess.
Yeah, but I gave her no indication that had changed.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I don't really feel bad then because
it's you hate to see it.
You really do. You really hate to see it, but it is what it is. It's what happened. It's the way of the world.
It's the way. Oh boy!
All right, let's jump into these topics.
Indeed.
I had to make myself feel a little bit better before we got into these. LA County Sheriff calls on LeBron James to step up to the plate. Double reward to find the gunman in deputy ambush. Sheriff Alex Villanueva is challenging Lakers star LeBron James to contribute to efforts to find the gunman who shot 2 Los Angeles County deputies at point-blank range. Villanueva made the challenge during an interview on a local radio show Monday. There are 2 private pledges totaling $75,000 in addition to the $100,000 from the county. But the sheriff is calling on James to kick in $170,000 or even $350,000. I want to make a challenge to LeBron James. I want you to match that and double that reward because I know you care about law enforcement. You expressed a very interesting statement on race relations and officer-involved shootings and the impact that it has on the African-American community, and I appreciate that. But likewise, we need to appreciate that respect for life goes across professions, races, creeds, and I'd like to see LeBron James step up to the plate and double that. It's unclear specifically which statement Villanueva was referring to, but James has publicly condemned the police shootings of that wasn't a shooting. That wasn't a shooting.
That
wasn't a shooting.
George Floyd was not a shooting.
Mind you, This isn't some rinky dink.
No, this is CBS. So this is come on, y'all.
Yeah, this is CBS.
Come on, y'all. Seriously.
I'll just replace shooting with brutality.
Right.
The police brutality in the cases of George Floyd, Jacob Blake, and others in recent months, saying African Americans are scared. There is no immediate response from LeBron to the sheriff's challenge.
All right. So the first thing I get from this is that you are purposely being disingenuous. You know damn well you're reaching if you expect LeBron James to go in his pocket and pay for that. Not when said cops, when they murder black people and then they get put on administrative leave.
Okay, we're back. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good.
When you go on administrative leave and they set up GoFundMe shits and y'all get like $1 million here, this, that, and other. Excuse me, if you want to add some more to that money y'all putting up, start a GoFundMe like they do when they kill us.
That's how that works.
That's number one. Number two, I don't understand why he's going at LeBron if for no other reason than to try to somehow create some false equivalency. That because he speaks up, Cat, if you don't get down from off that screen door, it's T'Challa with his crazy ass. Exact. Now you sound like me. He just came in. But anyway, like I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by that dumbass cat, right? So the fact that he is talking about LeBron mostly, of course, is talking about race relations. This has absolutely nothing to do. First of all, let me make this clear. One, we don't know what those cops did.
Nah.
This could have been a personal vendetta. They could have went and abused somebody. Listen,
it might not have had anything to do with them being cops.
Or it did.
Actually,
or
it could have been like a person-to-person thing.
Or did and didn't. For instance,
yeah,
most police brutality, things that happen in this country around police brutality, despite what's been promoted, does not end in death.
Yeah.
Most of the times when the police
is
out there being extra aggressive, extra volatile, extra physical with black suspects, they don't die. They get their asses whipped. They get abused, but they don't die, right? We don't know what happened and why this guy felt like out of the blue, I'm just going to run up and shoot these cops. We don't know that yet. We need more video footage. Like what happened before the shooting?
Yeah.
I need to know these things. And I think LeBron does too.
All right. So, well,
we don't have all the data.
There have been some other responses to this. Vanessa Bryant. Pretty sure y'all know who she is. It'll be made clear by what she said.
Right.
He shouldn't be challenging LeBron James to match a reward or to step up to the plate.
That's some bullshit.
He couldn't even step up to the plate and hold his deputies accountable for photographing dead children. For those that didn't clear it up for, Vanessa Bryant is the widow of Kobe Bryant.
Right.
And what she's referring to is when the helicopter crash happened, those kids that were there were photos of their dead bodies that got out.
Shit, man.
That should never have happened. We got another response from Uncle Shay. Uncle Shay had something to say about this. Shannon Sharp.
Uncle Shay.
I challenged him to fire the officers that shared the photos of Kobe's accident.
How about that?
But he and his deputy, he and his department tried to cover it up.
How about that? This is the part that really like cheeses me off. Are we really, really, really talking about the Los Angeles County Police, the Sheriff's Department? Are we really talking? So we gonna sit here and pretend like they don't have a checkered history of not stepping up to the plate, right?
I mean,
Like, get the fuck out. See, this the part that bothers me is a short attention span and memory in this country, right? And everybody is so invested in narrative positioning. You know, everybody, instead of being honest about some shit, everybody wants to position themselves into a narrative, right? And it's disingenuous. It's not arguing in good faith. You know, goddamn well that's a reach going to LeBron James about some shit. First of all, do your job. That was illegal, was it not? What that got shooting cops is illegal. Pretty much in every city.
There's pretty much no way around
it, right? Do your jobs and find them. It's on video. And hopefully video will work out better for y'all than it's worked out for us over the years. Because we didn't have videos of motherfuckers doing shit they had no business doing. And y'all say, well, what about what happened before? What about what happened after? We don't know. Listen, if we start doing all of the dancing that they do around video, the hypocrisy that they have inside them is still not going to tell them, yeah, that's kind of what we do. Right. Right. Fuck out of here. Ain't nobody giving you
Let me read this other exchange.
LeBron's response should be, sure, I'll give you shit and push you in it.
Yo, I don't think he responded at all. But Jamil Hill says 606 lawsuits were filed against the LA police.
Jeez,
with 539 against the LA County Sheriff's Office. The county spent $81 million settling or litigating these lawsuits. What happened to these officers was awful.
Yes.
But it's funny how the police want everyone else to be accountable but them.
Yeah. And
so someone responded to her and said, if this is your take on two officers getting shot, you can't expect anyone on the other side to sympathize with your cause.
What's the other side?
That's a great question. Your stance of, well, it's sad what happened to these innocent police officers, but has absolutely everything in it except, basic empathy. And Jamil says, my take is that Sheriff Villanueva shouldn't be using the cold-blooded murder of two officers to bully a celebrity and further a bad narrative that demanding police accountability means that you sanction violence against the police.
Really, when that comment under her post is a direct reflection of the truth of what they feel like.
Oh, it's clearly the Blue Lives Matter crowd.
Even further than that, they're not just Blue Lives Matter. They're Blue Lives Matter over Black lives. That's what they're. Remember, you know how they run around and say they try to add the only at the end of Black Lives Matter? Now they try to add. I'm adding this now. You're really saying Blue Lives Matter over Black lives. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And when you say you're on the other side, this is funny how this shit works, right? This is what I've been saying before about when you don't consider certain demographics your fellow citizens. This is an example of this. Because for you to say you're on the other side of what? The side of a citizen or citizens that have been shot unjustly and murdered a lot of the times from cops who didn't do their job, didn't show restraint, were scared, and they're in this position that was giving them a gun and the authority, and they don't know how to use it. What side are you on? Oh, I get it. You're saying those of you that rather enjoy cops shooting Black people or think that that's a thing that should happen.
Basically.
That's the other side of it, right? Because if you're looking at these Black people as fellow citizens, your concern would be sides. There's no sides. You shot an unarmed citizen that was not a threat to you.
Yep.
But this is what I mean by the whole subtle thing. Not so subtle now.
I'm about to say.
Not so subtle now thing about how they don't view you as a fellow citizen. They view you in some sort of oppositional way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, it's a whole mess. I'm happy that LeBron has not responded.
He shouldn't even dignify that shit.
I would be equally as happy if he responded in a shady way. But I understand why he would not do
for
that.
him. I'll do it for him. He's busy. He's busy. I'll do it for him.
Well, but not even that he's busy, but the fact that there are certain wins, quote unquote, that aren't really worth the trouble that come along with them.
That's true. So
this would be one of those.
I'll do it for him. So let me respond to Sheriff Alex Villanueva right now. Towards your request to get LeBron James to dig in his pocket and give y'all money. No.
Okay.
One more thing.
You had me for a second.
One more thing. Fuck off.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Got you. Yep. Make sure I spell that right. FUCK space OFF.
No hyphen.
Oh.
That's what. Fuck off.
Okay. Got you.
FUCK hyphen.
All right. Got you. No, got you. All right. Yeah. Trash. All right. Moving on. To more trash. More trash.
Trash keeps piling up.
Video footage shows Georgia cop beat black Lyft passenger unconscious. A Clayton County deputy has been placed on administrative leave after a video of the officer smothering an unarmed black Lyft passenger unconscious in Atlanta surfaced on Instagram last Friday. The incident reportedly occurred outside of the Georgia Department of Public Health Vital Records office near Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport earlier in the day. An investigation has been launched. The man was reportedly using ride-sharing car service Lyft with his girlfriend when the driver was pulled over due to his taillight allegedly being out. The driver didn't have his driver's license on him, so the cops began to question the passengers and demanded that they show their IDs. The passengers responded by asking the cops why they needed to show their IDs when they didn't do anything wrong.
Why indeed?
The officers then asked the man to step out of the car. That's when things got intense and what is shown on camera. In the video, one officer can be seen holding the man down while another officer has him in a chokehold with his young child looking. Another angle shows one of the cops punching the man in his stomach. At one point, the man can be heard saying, "I'm gonna die, I can't breathe." But the officer continued to strike him a few more times, including his head, until he was unconscious. Video shows blood streaming down his face as 3 officers attempted to handcuff him. According to 11 Alive, details on what led to the encounter have yet to be announced. Clayton County Sheriff Victor Hill said in a press release that he ordered his entire internal affairs unit to come in and begin an investigation that has been going on since 8 p.m.
Stop.
Internal affairs.
Look. What did I just say earlier? That the vast majority of police brutality cases do not end in death.
Yep.
And I think one of the big ways they try to be dismissive and pigeonhole all of this that we talk about is they have raised the bar. If it didn't end in death, then what are you niggers complaining about, right? Except for the fact that that's not. But during the Rodney King case, Rodney King did not die.
Nope.
He was beat the fuck up on camera, right? So again, vast majority not end in death. This man, fortunately, did not die. He did not die. Now, I'm gonna need for those of you that want to pigeonhole this conversation into just the murders or the deaths to pull your head out of your asses and understand the totality of police brutality. Not just, so he didn't die, so. No, that's not what we were talking about. That's not how this conversation ever started. It wasn't ever just about the deaths. It wasn't ever just about that. And if you look even in pop culture, listen to the lyrics of "Fuck the Police."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this shit has been going on for a long ass time, and it's not just about the deaths. So get that out. Also, while we on that subject, can we deconstruct the narrative of white cop does this to black suspect or citizen?
No, it's
B.
cop and citizen.
It's cop and citizen because there's plenty of black cops out there that are doing this exact same thing. I know because it's happened.
Just like
me.
that.
Fuck out
like
of here.
That pussy ass motherfucker that told everybody, get in the ring with him. And then people started saying, I'm going to get in the ring with you.
Yeah.
And he like, well, obviously I'm not going to fight you guys because I haven't done anything to you personally.
Same guy. Same punk ass, mealy mouth.
Yo,
with his fucking solar flex muscles.
Backfired on him. Yeah,
he looked like guys. It's useless. No, nigga, no. You did some push-ups. You put on a shirt. You put on a shirt. You oiled up. Put on a shirt 2 sizes too small. You went up there and did your Hulk Hogan routine.
You stood in front of the light a certain way, reflect.
So the shadow would go down. We saw
all that.
We saw
because you looked different.
Yeah,
you looked different and sounded different in that second video.
Yeah, fight me.
Wasn't the same energy.
Fight me, guys. And then as soon as somebody said, "Okay, well, listen." Guys, listen. I didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything to you personally.
That energy right there, that energy right there is consistent among that type.
You know what's the crazy thing about that is that shows how bad your ego is.
Yeah.
Because you could have just ignored it.
Facts.
You didn't have to put that second video out.
Facts.
But we have more on the story. Roderick Walker, the Clayton County GA rideshare passenger, was seen in the viral video being beaten by sheriff's deputies, said from his jail cell that he is afraid and won't even describe his ordeal because he doesn't want what he went through to be distorted. I'm scared. I don't know what to say. Walker is being held in the medical unit of Fulton County Jail where he was transferred after being held in Clayton County Jail.
That's crazy.
And being granted bond on Tuesday.
Beat your ass and lock you up. Beat your
Juanita
ass.
Davis, Walker's girlfriend, took the video of the incident in which she and Walker were in a rideshare vehicle when the deputies stopped the car for a traffic violation. Davis says that the deputies walked up to the vehicles and immediately asked Walker for his identification. She said that she was forced to choose between trying to help Walker and fending for her children, who were in the car with them at the time. I had to just think about my children. Yes, I wanted to intervene. Do I care about going to jail trying to help someone I love? No, I don't. But I have a 5-year-old and a 4-month-old. I knew I had to be home with them.
I feel that.
It's bad enough that their dad had to go, but there's no reason that their mom had to go too. I did my part recording, and I have my evidence.
I feel that.
Walker asked why the officers needed it since he was a passenger. He was asked to step out of the car. Physical conflict happened. His name is not one of the deputies involved has since been fired. His name has not been released, but Walker wants charges filed against him. Of course you do. His attorney said that the incident was a violation of his rights. He said he has not been provided any documents on the case yet. Everything points to the fact that this was a traffic stop that ultimately led to my client being arrested, being assaulted, and his constitutional rights being violated. In an earlier interview with BET.com, Williams said that he was concerned about his client's health and safety and wanted to secure his release as soon as possible. I desire to get him out of jail. It's not only because of the fact that we believe these charges are frivolous and illegal, but also because we are concerned about his safety and his health. And we need to get him a full workup. We want all the charges against Mr. Walker dismissed because they are based upon frivolous and unlawful search and seizure. The battery that he's been charged with should have been charged against the officers involved, not him. Let me see if I can get his charges, because I know one of them is like obstruction of justice,
right?
Which, of course, the two most felonious charges that victims of police brutality get are obstruction of justice and resisting arrest. If the only charge that you're charged with is resisting arrest, that means it was wrong.
Yeah, why were you trying to arrest in the first place? Also, now we end before the excuses come, right? So the first thing someone will say is, well, we don't know how the physicality ensued. There was zero reason for that cop to ask for that man's ID. Period.
Pretty much.
They came in with that shit that introduced this entire thing. If it's a traffic situation going on, and that's a Lyft driver, you deal with the Lyft driver, not the passenger. Yeah. And certainly not a passenger in there with his kids.
It's not a situation where somebody was riding down the street and
a hack.
The driver's like, no, yeah, like the driver's like, I don't know them. I'm just giving them a ride. No, Lyft drivers have to be identified.
That's right.
The car has to have an insignia on it that identifies them as a Lyft driver.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let me see.
There was no reason to ask that man for his goddamn ID. For what? If this is a traffic violation, you did. It's like you being in a cab, yo. And then the cab driver does some funky shit as far as traffic laws is concerned. Cops see him and stop him, and the cop harass you. You're the passenger. Fuck out of here.
Absolutely. I'm close to having his charges. Here's the bond agreement. That's not what I want. I want the charges. He was charged with 2 counts of battery and 2 counts of obstruction. So he probably elbowed or punched one of you bitch ass motherfuckers in the face when y'all were attacking him.
Right. He was defending himself, basically. You try to put your hands on him and he defend. Because, this is the other thing that killed me about that. So this man is with his kid and his lady. His kids and his lady. His kids and his lady. So the narrative that he went out there to start trouble, because this is the narrative I know that's coming. Like, listen, when I'm out with my kids and my wife, I don't want no trouble. I don't want to bring no trouble to us.
Right.
And I ain't trying to cause no trouble. So that way, if somebody brings me trouble, I feel vindicated in what I'm going to do to them for coming over here fucking with my family. Right? So this man obviously was not out there. He was trying to go from point A to point Z. All right? He was in a lift going somewhere with his peoples. It's crazy, man. But watch the narrative. Watch the narrative that takes place for those on the other side. The other side being the people that don't view black people as their fellow citizens. Those people.
Yeah.
Wait till you see what their arguments are going to be. They're going to be laughable at best. Oh, and ad hoc. Very ad hoc.
Well, I mean, come on now.
There.
We can't avoid that.
Apparently.
All right, I'm trying to find. Oh no, that's gonna take entirely too long. Trying to see if he has any other charges. No, that's not right.
No,
that's absolutely not right. I'm trying to find if he has any. Oh, there we go. Roderick Walker. All right, no, it didn't show up, but I'm not necessarily in the right place either. So,
why are you not in the right place? Registry. You should be in the right place.
Shush.
You broke it.
Shush. Because I've never looked up anybody's charges in Georgia before, so I don't know exactly where to go. That's all that is. But
this video is disgusting.
Oh, absolutely. I see the picture where he's like missing meat on his face and got a bruised, beat up eye. Like I didn't watch it. My coworker sent it to me, and she was like, "Did you see this?" I'm like, "What you talking about?" She was like, "Lyft passenger, they got him." I'm like, and when she said they got him, I knew exactly what she meant. Right. And I started to look at the video, and I was like, "Nah."
I can't. I'm tired of seeing. It reminds me of the people that support police and everything they fucking do. Remind me of people that support Trump and everything they do. It's always two tactics, right? Always two tactics. First, they get accused of something that ain't happened. Y'all making that up. Then the evidence comes out that it happened. Well, if it did happen,
well, this is why
it ain't illegal because this is why. This is the exact same shit they do. If you were so indignant at first when you heard about it, and said that couldn't have happened. The reason you're saying that couldn't happen because it's egregious and you know it. Right. Then when you find out it happened, oh shit, so it actually did happen. But
cover your ass mode.
Now it wasn't as egregious because it's the same fucking tactic, yo. Same fucking tactic.
Every time.
I'm sick of
I had a conversation with somebody because the Ravens posted this lengthy post about what they were doing and wanted done for social justice reform. And matter of fact, I need some positivity in this goddamn point of the show. So let me find that post so I can read what it is that they said. Cause it had the people's upset. Cause where is it?
You know, some people are of the opinion that politics shouldn't be in everything that we deal with.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the whole thing. And I actually
I understand that sentiment, right? I absolutely understand that sentiment.
I'm saying too.
I myself am not a fan of politics. That doesn't change what reality is, though.
Exactly. I think the problem is there's a disconnect that people have about life, and they think that somehow living and politics are separate. They're not. The only people that engage in politics are the living.
Yeah, as long as you are governed.
As long as you are governed. You know what I'm saying? Like every part. So I see it many times. It's the same argument they make about art. They want politics and art. And I always laugh at them. Like,
yo, my favorite meme about that one is like, what machine did you think they were raging against?
Yeah. Like, yo, it's ridiculous. It's like I had a conversation. I did a recent episode with Graydon Square, Majestic Musings, and I said in the episode that you can't tell an artist to put more of themselves into their art and frame it as if this is a form of their personal expression, and then have them not, except for, by the way, politics that informs their
except
opinions
for the
life.
Things that I deemed to be politics.
Right. Like this is part of their life. You stupid son of a bitch. And also we was talking about specifically comic books, stuff like that. How are you going to make? First of all, the reason why things in literature, we recognize the fantastic in nature. An easy way to recognize things that are fantastic in nature is by juxtaposing it to things that are normal.
Grounded. Yeah,
things that are grounded normal. So yes, if you just took a picture of Superman behind a blank screen with nothing going on, just all green, and he's doing this, he could be laying down or something. What the fuck? We don't know what that is.
But he's actually an immigrant.
Right. But if you juxtapose him to a cityscape, a man isn't supposed to fly. Right. Because you're taking the fantastic and contrasting it with the shit that's normal. Okay. Do you see how this works?
But there are politics in every single expression of art that exists.
The moment a vigilante puts on a cape,
that's politics.
That's politics because he's going outside the law.
Yeah,
that's what the fuck are you talking about?
We're talking about orphans. We're talking about immigrants.
Yeah.
We're talking about social outcasts.
Yeah.
We're talking about LGBTQ people.
We're talking to experiment on soldiers.
Right.
Come on, man.
And hold up. That's one of the most prevalent ones. Government experiments on soldiers, government experiments on children, government experiments on animals, government experiments. So
governments creating weapons to go after specific demographics because of what they inherently are.
Yep.
How is that not?
That's literally
it's politics. Yo,
literally.
So I'm gonna need y'all to put on your big boy pants and realize that when artists,
I'm gonna need them to put on their thinking caps.
no, because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen if you tell them to put on their thinking caps. They're gonna put on a red one with this MAGA shit on there and be like, "That's my thinking cap
with a propeller
on
the top
and a feather." Fuck out of here.
All right, let me read this statement.
Right.
Statement from the Baltimore Ravens. With yet another example of racial discrimination with the shooting of Jacob Blake and the unlawful abuse of peaceful protesters, we must unify as a society. It is imperative that all people, regardless of race, religion, creed, or belief, come together and say enough is enough. This is bigger than sports. Racism is embedded in the fabric of our nation's foundation and is a blemish on our country's history. If we are to change course and make our world a better place, we must face this problem head on and act now to exact positive change. It is time to accept accountability and acknowledge the ramifications of slavery and racial injustice. Though we cannot right all the wrongs of our country's history, we can arrest and charge the police officers responsible for Breonna Taylor's killing and the shooting of Jacob Blake. Demand that Senator Mitch McConnell bring the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act of 2020 to the Senate floor for vote. End qualified immunity, require body cameras, ban chokeholds and no-knock warrants, hold police accountable in court, establish a framework to prohibit racial profiling at federal, state, and local levels. Support state and federally mandated CALEA accreditation and national standards of care in policing. Encourage everyone to engage in political process by registering to vote on both the local and national level. Demand prison sentencing reform that is fair and equitable. Encourage every citizen to act with respect and compliance when engaging with the police. If you feel there has been an abuse of power, we encourage you to contact your police department's internal affairs unit. We're gonna get to that. We will use our platform to drive change now, not just for our generation, but for the generations that follow, for our sons and daughters and their children. The one caveat being that last point, that is given that there is a system in place for that to actually, force accountability.
Hey SBJ, if I come over to your studio and I steal a couple of chords, and then you say to me, Tim, when you walked up out of here, I think you lifted a couple of my chords. In fact, I know you did because I saw you sneak it and put it in your camera bag, nigga. And I say, I'll investigate that. And then I give you, at the end of my investigation, my results and say, nah, my investigation shows that I didn't take those damn things. Is that a legitimate, authentic investigation?
And that's why it has to be tied in with the whole defund the police.
There needs to be a citizen review board, people outside of the police
some
force.
Type of independent, somebody that is not being paid by the same people.
Exactly.
That is really what that boils down to. But again,
this is the equivalent, right, of Congress people investigating Congress people for taking bribes.
Absolutely, 1,000%.
Fuck out of here.
So that's why I get mad at certain of these people, who these dumbasses, and I would always call them dumbasses, who are talking, who are saying to fucking actors and football players and basketball players, this is not what we asking for. We asking for such and such and such. Yeah, but they can't do that.
Right.
They can't do the things you're asking for. So they're doing other things. Right.
You're asking the wrong person.
They can't do the things you're asking for. So they are doing what they feel they can possibly do to help facilitate those things that we're asking for.
Right. The people you need to be saying when they do shit that you're not asking for is the people that are in charge to actually legislate and make laws and policies
People that actually have the
They
power.
had the power to make that over. See, again, I had this conversation with my wife today. This is part of the issue with incrementalism, right?
Mm,
When you try to take these baby fucking steps towards some shit,
mhm.
it is easily derailed and set back. Easily.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
it takes is a change in the narrative, a different
Yeah.
person coming in office, people deciding what the priority is different than this priority. And all the gains you thought you make, which really hasn't been that much,
Mhm.
get erased. And y'all about to
Mhm.
see an example of that really fucking soon.
Yeah.
Y'all about to see an example of how incrementalism and keeping shit close. It's the rate is close. Doing that shit makes it real easy for the other side of the issue that don't have your best interests at heart to do something to derail that entire thing, and then that's it. Y'all about to see
Absolutely.
that shit real soon. Real soon.
Absolutely. But yeah, absolutely. Kudos to them for taking a stand. I think they were the first NFL team to actually say some shit like this, and they, like I said, they did. I know they're doing what I feel like what they're doing is like an example for the individual, because what they did was they had this statement in letter form signed by however many people and sent to Congress and shit like that. Like this is the way that the process, these are the tools that we have to actually affect the process. So if you guys do it and enough of you do it and you stand on it, there could actually potentially be some fucking change versus just getting on Facebook and claiming that you're upset about it.
Right.
There are things that you actually can do. You have a set of tools, limited as they may be. You have to use those tools if you actually want anything to change.
Well,
So,
we'll see if anything actually changes. But
right,
you
right,
should at least like you got to use what you got right there,
right.
and then
That's it.
if that doesn't work,
Then you go to plan
then
B.
you got to go to a different plan.
Yeah.
I've always been one that like looking at the political landscape
Mm-hmm.
and seeing how, even though it allegedly is a minority of people who feel toxic, this is what they allege. There's a minority of people that feel toxically about these issues. The vast majority of Americans don't. This is what they keep telling us. This is what they keep telling us. But it's funny how the wrong people who are on the opposite side of these issues always get the power. Always seem to get. Just saying, this is what they tell us. If that's true, then if the vast majority of people who aren't with that toxic shit just use the tools that are there, you might see something.
Yeah.
Right. But I suspect, because I am very cynical about all of this, I don't believe.
Right.
I said this last week. I don't believe y'all anymore. I don't
Yeah.
believe y'all.
Facts.
I am cynical that it's actually a minority of people that feel toxically about. Why? Because I've seen people who the policies that we're talking about and the stuff that's in that letter, people that this would actually benefit them personally. I've seen them express viewpoints to the contrary of that. So I am not sure if the vast majority of people actually are not toxic. I'm thinking it's the other way around, and we are deluding ourselves. And this is why shit doesn't get done, because it's like if I'm about to go to war, right? And I have this expectation for whatever reason that I have 30,000 troops that I really don't have. Right? And then I go into war like, y'all got 30,000 troops. Just on.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, do you know? You know what I'm saying? You actually only have like 10,000.
20. No, just 20.
You got 20. So now the other side may have more. You're outmanned, possibly outgunned, and you don't even know who's actually on your side because you thought it was 10,000 more than what it actually is. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind
of no. 20.
20.
Not 20,000.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 20. Look, you are fucked up in the game, right?
Facts.
But you were fucked up from jump. You just didn't know it. So whatever tactics you were using did not work because you were wrong from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
And
I am operating on bad intel.
On bad intel.
I can't be held responsible for bad intel.
You kind of will be.
You will be.
You will be. You know what I'm saying?
You will be faced with the consequences.
That's what I'm saying. I think one of the reasons why we keep having these. I gotta tell y'all, man, it's rough when you're getting old because you start seeing the same shit recycled. I just saw this when Rodney King had his ass beat. Just saw this. They were talking about this when Fred Hampton Sr. got killed. Look, I'm trying to tell y'all, this shit keep happening. We may don't have the numbers we think we have. That's all I'm saying, Chief.
There's no way we. I'm not going to go to that because it's going to make me mad. Yes. All right, next topic. Woke Harvard? That Harvard racial disparities study, what's left out? It could not analyze the skewed pipeline that led to court to begin with, namely policing and prosecutorial decisions. In this summer of our racial discontent, that is from something.
Yes.
Winter of our discontent.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. All right. With national demonstrations against police shootings of Black people and systemic racism across all institutions, a study released Wednesday by the Criminal Justice Policy Program at Harvard Law School, where I teach, could not be more significant. Harvard researchers were enlisted in 2016 by Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court Chief Justice Ralph Gantz to look at the factors that contribute to the large racial disparities in incarceration rates. The Massachusetts Sentencing Commission had found that in 2014, Black people in the state were imprisoned at a rate nearly 8 times that of white people, and Latinx people nearly 5 times that of white people. In fact, Massachusetts had the dubious distinction of outpacing national disparity rates, ranking the highest in disparities for Latinx and 13th highest for Black people. Though hampered by the poor record keeping of public agencies, the bullet points were jaw-dropping.
I'm trying to figure out this if anybody is surprised that in Massachusetts.
Yes. Listen to me clearly. When you first told me about this, I was like, my surprise was that Harvard was doing the study. My surprise wasn't that the foundings in Massachusetts were what they were. It was that Harvard was doing. But anyway,
that's a fact.
White people make up roughly 74% of the state's population, while accounting for 58.7% of cases in the Harvard study's data. Black people make up just 6.5% of the population and account for 17.1% of the cases. Black and Latinx people were not simply overrepresented in the criminal caseload. They also received more severe treatment. They were less likely than white people to have their cases resolved through less severe dispositions like pretrial probation. They received longer sentences than their white counterparts, an average of 168 days longer for Black people and 148 days longer for Latinx people. The differential treatment could not be explained by the nature of the charges. Black and Latinx people charged with drug offenses and weapons offenses received longer sentences than white people charged with similar offenses. Even when Black and Latinx people were charged with offenses carrying mandatory minimum sentences, they were more likely to receive longer sentences than white people facing identical charges. But the study raised larger issues, not just what it covered, but also what it did not or could not include. It focused on what happened to criminal cases once they entered the trial court's system. It could not analyze the skewed pipeline that led to court to begin with, namely policing and prosecutorial decisions. A 2014 report on civilian encounters between 2007 and 2010, conducted by the ACLU in collaboration with the Boston Police Department, found that although only 24% of the Boston population was Black, they were subject to 63% of encounters with police. Latinx people, only 12% of the population, were subject to 18% of such encounters. When the researchers sought arrest data from the police departments in Massachusetts, they came up empty. Many did not bother to answer.
Wow.
Nor could the Harvard researchers study racial disparity in the charging decisions of prosecutors. The fact that people of color were more likely to face charges that carry mandatory prison sentences translates into plea deals that are more likely to involve longer sentences. In fact, racial and ethnic differences in the type and severity of the initial charge account for over 70% of the disparities in sentence lengths.
Wow.
The Harvard researchers found. And that conclusion mirrored a study of the federal system. Racial disparities in prosecutors' decisions about whom to charge with mandatory minimum offenses were a major driver of sentencing length disparities. But while the Harvard researchers sought data from the Massachusetts District Attorneys Association, they received none. All of this raises another concern: accountability. Judge Gantz, to his enormous credit, sought this study to enable the court over which he presides to be held accountable for what happens within its walls. It is ironic, the one entity whose decisions are public and subject to appeal, the courts, has taken pains to study itself. Others with even more significant roles in creating a racially disparate system with considerable discretion about whom to arrest, whom to charge, and how much to charge them with have not. There are exceptions. Suffolk District Attorney Rachel Rollins has attempted to address racial disparities in charging decisions by not prosecuting certain minor offenses that contribute to them. An important way to monitor the discretionary decisions of police officers and prosecutors is with data, as the Harvard researchers have tried to do. What do the patterns reveal? Do they reflect racial disparity? Can the data show policymakers how to ameliorate the disparity? Legislation passed in 2018 to create a centralized database for tracking individuals in the criminal justice system has not gone very far to improve the decrepit Massachusetts system. Sadly, the system still relies on the voluntary cooperation of law enforcement officials who are less than enthusiastic about providing it. The Harvard researchers deserve to be congratulated for what they have done with what they had. But if we really want to deal with systemic racism within our justice system, this is only a start.
So there's a lot in here. It's very dense. So I'm gonna start just like digging into the places that I see are.
Yeah.
So one, the whole idea that the voluntary cooperation of law enforcement officials is something that's sought after is one of the biggest issues I feel when really trying to scrutinize how they treat suspects.
Yeah.
Because if they're not forced to give the information, they won't. So you won't really have a good data. The fact that they have to be forced to do that, or they just won't, shows you intent. As far as I'm concerned, it shows you intent. So that's number one, and it's also one of the reasons why, when you see people try to minimize the police brutality in this country, even with the deaths, you have to say to them that number you're quoting, we don't know if that's the actual.
Yeah, it's only been reported.
That's just one been reported. That's number one. Number two, everything that they said about the disparity is something that all of us know instinctively. Any of you that come from urban areas that have a higher amount of crime in those areas, you have friends and family members that have gone in and out the court system, you already know they don't be playing with niggas in there. You already know that. All of us know this shit, which is why it pisses me off when I hear simple motherfuckers talk about, why aren't you protesting the violence in your neighborhood? As if the legal system in this country is giving us a break, is coddling us, is hitting us on a pat on the wrist, a swat on the wrist, or some shit like that with us. We know that's not true. We know this, and the data,
incorrect,
such as it is, bears it out and has bared it out for years. The shit about the thing about this that also bothers me is that those of us that come from these communities that have to deal with this and seen this shit, and those of us that haven't, but still gonna have to deal with it when you go in certain spaces, looking the way you look. We should know these things. So I should not have to hear that bullshit come out of your mouth. I should not have to hear you say that, because all of this data, this what they're doing right here, this directly affects you, whether you come from a poverty-stricken, crime-ridden neighborhood or not. If you are Black or Latino in this country, you should know this shit, because it's in your own self-interest to know this.
Yes.
And I should
1000%.
not have to be arguing with people, with Black and browns, about how to stem the tide of violence in our communities.
Yeah.
And we sit here and act like we don't know that that's a subculture of crime. And we all know, if you live in a certain neighborhood, you know who's selling drugs. You know who's out there robbing people. You know who shot Sean out there on the block the other day. Y'all already know that shit. So there's no reason for y'all to be running around here talking about, we need to protest. You need to
go talk to them.
Go to the people that's doing the shit.
Yeah,
right?
go talk to them.
They don't have any more power than you do. No, have any more power than you do.
Listen, there are certain times. What up, Paul? There are certain times where this advice is levied, and I think it's the absolute dumbest thing you could possibly say.
What advice?
But I'm going to apply it here. They can't kill all of y'all.
Can't kill all of y'all.
And in certain situations, that's dumb as fuck to say.
It is
absolutely dumb as fuck.
Like for instance,
let's go. Let's have a civil war. They can't kill all. Well, okay, hold on.
Let's go clap some alien cheeks at Area 51.
Right.
They can't
kill us all. No, that's not true. They absolutely can kill you all.
Not enough of you are going to go over there that they don't have bullets for.
Right. In this scenario, not only can they not kill you all,
I don't think they will.
There are several reasons. Matter of fact, let's stick with they can't kill you all. They likely don't have the resources to kill you all. They likely don't have the skills to kill you all. They likely don't have the balls to kill you all. They likely don't have the desire to kill you all.
They're likely caught up with the fact that these regular civilians, old ladies, old men, working class stiffs, kids. Could you,
Mr. Johnson, that works on cars?
We need y'all to cut that bullshit out. Cut it out.
Oh, shit, y'all serious?
Yeah, like
y'all serious? Okay, listen, I see what y'all saying. I'm gonna have to reevaluate some things.
You know how I know or have a reasonably good feeling that would work? Because when I was a kid, they still had the drug dealers, and I'm talking about like 8, shit like that. They still had drug. You know what them niggas did? They used to be in the alley. By the time I was an adult, there were open air drug markets.
Yeah.
Literally cars riding down Emerson Avenue and people stopping at stoplights and dudes running up to them, it was open air.
Yeah.
At some point, there was a shift where the criminal element at one time had respect for the community. As weird as that might sound, they had enough respect for the community where they wasn't out there just completely turning the neighborhood into shit. They had their own spaces where they engaged in criminality, and that stopped. That alley in the back of my grandmother's neighborhood, her house, that whole alley back there, that's where they used to be. The older guys, when I was like 8 and 9, the older guys around there that was getting money and doing their little shit, they did that shit back there, off of the main road. Not on one of the blocks with the resident. No, in the alley somewhere. He did that shit in the alley. By the time I was a teenager, by the time roughly 15, 16 years old, open air drug markets. Ain't give a fuck. So that's how I know that the mentality of hey, yo, we gotta respect the block, respect the old people.
Right.
Don't put them in a position to have to call the police on us so we
Right.
can get this money.
It's a realistic proposition.
Because that's what it was before.
Because it has happened.
Right. Right.
Yeah, man. It's
crazy, man.
It's a sad state.
And just realize we don't even have all the numbers.
No, we never will.
Yeah, as long as they refuse the people that would have and this is what I know. This is how I know when people aren't operating in good faith. There is literally, if you had nothing to hide, there is no reason not to give them your arrest stuff, the complaints, all of the stuff that
hold on. The same argument they make towards us.
Yeah.
If you haven't done anything wrong, why can't I have your ID?
Exactly. If you haven't done anything wrong, why can't we get your data? If y'all over there doing what the fuck you supposed to do, and there are incidents that take place that y'all strongly feel would not incriminate you because you ain't do shit wrong, slide them people your data.
Yep.
But that's why there has to be a law where they have to, because this is why I don't really rock with a lot of the one of the premises of libertarians that people will do the right thing uncoerced. Bullshit.
People will do whatever they can get away with.
People will do whatever they can get away with.
No, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that to be more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
People will do what's best for them up until it becomes a hindrance.
Right. Absolutely.
So yes, it may sometimes be the right thing to do. Yes, absolutely. It may be the right thing to do. But it's not inherently going to be the right thing to do.
Sometimes what everyone else would think is the wrong thing to do, that person will think this is in my personal best interest to do. And there has to be checks and balances for that. And unfortunately, it's kind of fucked up because it's almost, if you stretch the analogy out, it's almost like we're gonna have people judging people because people ain't shit. The same way you would say,
yeah, but we don't have a choice. Like
we don't really
have
no
other
choice.
Way to be judged.
There's no other. Yeah, there's no other way. So the best thing we can do,
we all we got.
So the best we can do, right, is we look at somebody's past history. Are they criminal? Are they that? All this other shit that would indicate some sort of criminality in their past that may not make them the best judge for this type of thing, and then go with that. That's all we got.
That's all we can do. And then keep systems in place to hold them accountable if they fuck up.
That's it. That's all.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all we can really do.
Right.
Like,
but they won't even do the bare minimum of that, which is giving them the data, yo.
As much as I hate baseball, life is baseball. Life is a system of failure. Nothing is going to happen but fail. That's the only thing you can guarantee is going to happen.
Something going to fail.
So when things go right, you have to take what happened there, reverse engineer it, and try to apply it moving forward.
And hopefully
that's the only thing you can
make
do.
It right more times than it's wrong. That's it.
That's it. That's it. I'm still mad this motherfucker tried to talk about somebody something about baseball. I can't remember the exact argument. Something about somebody being in the Hall of Fame for hitting 300.
Oh, yeah.
Nigga, that's what happens in baseball. Oh, yeah. People don't hit 300. Like, what are you talking about? Just because you know 300 equals 30%.
I remember that argument, yo. Like, I remember that. That shit was so fucking dumb.
It's because you know 300 means 30%, and 30% to you is failing. You think that's bad. No, motherfucker.
This is this what you meant first about when you said first about what we know will happen and shit will fail. This is a failure to compute.
We know it's going to fail.
This guy who made this argument, this is a failure.
It's so ironic that you're talking about baseball. Because that's exactly what this is.
Look, Napalm like, wait, what?
Yes. Like, that's exactly what this is. You are doing the exact thing that baseball is designed to do.
Yeah.
You are failing miserably. And you aren't like, yes. I'm not looking at this up, but the highest batting average ever is like 32 or some shit like that. 320, which is 32%, or some shit like that. Like, you can't say what in the 100. But yeah, like, I'm like, You dumb ass motherfucker.
Yo, I
you
swear,
saw this number. You
can't.
saw this number somewhere out of context in a vacuum, and you assumed that it meant what 30% usually means.
I can't with these people, yo. I literally can't. Yo, I remember when you showed that shit, I was like, come on, yo, really?
Like, yo, you literally, you're showing that you know zero about baseball.
But
I don't even like baseball.
You know what he's also showing? He is absolutely willing to speak on shit he don't know. With an authoritarian positioning with it.
Yes.
Like, absolutely.
Chest poked out.
Oh, well, first of all, 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2 being 16. Nigga, no.
Like, bro, what are you doing? What are we doing here? Why are you?
Like, why?
That's my question. Why are you?
Like bro, out of here.
If you would have done cursory research, because for somehow you knew that there was somebody in the Hall of Fame with a 300 batting average,
and without all
you had to do is look at other people in the Hall of Fame
without any looking at the things around it, what this means, nothing. He automatically formed an opinion that he is more than happy to attempt to beat you about the head and shoulders with.
Absolutely. With gusto.
Dude, this is in a microcosm. Just that situation is a microcosm of the larger issue that I see on social media every fucking day.
To this day, he never responded, by the way.
To this day. To this day. And he won't. He won't. You made him look like an absolute idiot. Yo, you know what I'm saying? And passing number 3 was the greatest role.
But that's what I'm saying, yo. Why? Why are we like this?
No, yo.
Why is this a feature?
I told you before, yo. I can't explain why. But I can observe what I see.
Yo,
humans are fucking stupid, yo.
It's simple shit though. Like, this isn't like, I'm not asking him to like recite to me the Declaration of Independence verbatim.
No.
I'm not asking him.
Not even. No, push it a little further. You're not asking him to recite the Declaration of Independence in cuneiform. You're not asking none of that.
I'm not asking him to explain to me the principles and the ins and out of the Moneyball strategy implemented in baseball. Like, I'm not asking him to do any of this shit. I'm asking you to simply, wherever you got that bit of information that you got, right? Because somebody, maybe he heard somebody say it.
I believe so, because unfortunately, this is a reality. And this is why you have to be a skeptic. You have to be a skeptic, because we are living in a world where you have people that are being deceived.
Yeah.
People that are doing the deceiving, and people that are deceived spreading the deception. This is the world we live in.
That's funny, because all right. So here's my analysis of this and how he fucked up.
You fucked up, right?
So, just being a human being, right?
Oh, sorry.
I know, right? Being an adult human being at that.
Okay.
Oof. So the tone of, not even, I won't say tone because it was through text, but the context of the conversation, you're implying that this failure is being celebrated.
Yeah.
That lets me know that you know what a Hall of Fame is for.
Yeah, well, yeah. Obviously.
Well, if you know what a Hall of Fame is for,
yes,
wouldn't it stand to reason that something is off about 30% being acceptable for the Hall of Fame?
Right.
So maybe I should do a little bit more research as to why this person, or no, because my first thought, if I was in his place, my first thought would be, there's no way there's somebody in the fucking Hall of Fame with 30%. Let me go check this out. That would be my first thought. There's no way, because the Hall of Fame is supposed to be the creme de la creme. The cock of the walk, the bee's knees.
Ooh.
So there's no way that people that have a 30% average can make it into the Hall of Fuck no. Get the fuck out of here. Let me go look this up. Oh, he's at 27. He's at 28. He's at 31. Why is that? What is this? What is this stat that I'm looking up? What is this stat?
No,
come the fuck on.
No, listen. The reason that didn't happen, the reason that didn't occur, is because a lot of people are like the pigeon you stupidly decided to play chess against at the park. He just knocked over the entire chessboard
and then said check.
Strutted away. Strutted away. Checkmate. That's the problem. That's
exactly what happened. Yo.
Literally, the vast majority of conversations that I have come into contact with people who are not well read or don't have a sense of shame about misinforming others. That is how they come off.
Yeah.
They come off completely oblivious to the harm they could do. Now, in a conversation like this, okay, it doesn't hinge on the world.
Yeah, it's fairly innocuous.
But that metric they use, understand, they use that for everything.
They have to use it somewhere else.
They use that for everything.
Without question. It's like the motherfucker on the court that's going to shoot the three, leave his arm in the air and turn around. Mind you, it was an air ball.
No, not only was it an air ball, it didn't hit the goal. It didn't hit the backboard. It went over the fence.
Hit a lady down the street, caused the accident.
Hit a lady on top of her head. She had the courage with the baby in it and fell out of her hand and went in the middle of the street. Cars avoided hitting that and crashed into another car. They were too close to the airport. So the guy up in the air, the guy in the air traffic control saw it and went, "What the fuck?" And he didn't give them the right coordinates. And two planes crashed and shit. Aliens saw that shit from orbit, started laughing, and one of them hit the weapons button and destroyed another alien vessel. And now it's intergalactic war.
And he's still here like that.
He's still there like
with his arm. Kobe. He still got his fucking hand in the air. Get the fuck out of here, my guy. What are you doing?
Listen.
Why are you?
Listen to me. I hate all of you. Like I cannot stand y'all, man. I cannot stand y'all, man. I can't.
It's an exercise in futility being who we are.
Yo, Napalm said
somebody posted that Tom Brady retired earlier this week, knowing he's the GOAT. That news would have been everywhere. Didn't check and still posted it. Yeah, there's similar things. Yeah. Like he literally played last week. Like he literally, whatever. Like 6 days ago, he was literally in
uniform.
He played. He was in uniform on the field. Full pads, throwing touchdown, whatever. Moving on. A2 Princeton? Princeton admitted past racism. Now it is under investigation. The Trump administration opened a civil rights investigation into the university after its president acknowledged the role of systemic racism at the school. The Trump administration said this week that it was investigating whether Princeton has violated federal civil rights law, suggesting that a public expression of contrition for a history of systemic racism at the university was an acknowledgement of illegal behavior.
I need all of
That's a hell of a paragraph.
No,
is that a sentence?
I need all of us.
That's a long ass sentence, but go ahead.
It is, because I see no punctuation. But what I would suggest for all of us to do is to look behind what's happening here. Continue.
Yeah.
It's not.
You
This is
admitted.
not. Yeah.
You admitted Princeton's educational program is and for decades has been racist, federal officials wrote in a letter to the school on Wednesday. The investigation is the latest escalation in the administration's campaign against the Ivy League for its policies on matters of race. Last month, the Justice Department accused Yale of violating federal civil rights law through its admissions policies, and it has supported legal efforts to end affirmative action at Harvard. In their letter to Princeton this week, officials cited a public statement made this month by the school's president, Christopher Eisgruber. The fuck?
I think that's the guy from the first Die Hard movie.
Oh, okay. Hands. Okay, whatever. In which he charged university leaders with developing plans to combat systemic racism at Princeton and beyond. Invoking the protests and national reckoning that followed the killings of Black people by police officers this year, Mr.
Hans Gruber,
action movie villain number one, announced a series of policy initiatives to diversify Princeton's faculty and make the campus more welcoming to underrepresented groups. He said racism persists at Princeton and in society, sometimes by conscious intention, but more often through unexamined assumptions and stereotypes, ignorance or insensitivity, and the systemic legacy of past decisions and policies. In its letter informing Princeton of the investigation, which was earlier reported on Thursday by the Washington Examiner, the Education Department said that based on its admitted racism, Princeton may have received more than $75 million in taxpayer funding under false pretenses since action movie villain number one became president in 2013. In a statement, Princeton defended action movie villain number one's letter, saying that it was an attempt to reckon with the continued effects of systemic racism throughout history.
Yes, it was.
And that the university was operating within the bounds of federal civil rights law. It is unfortunate that the department appears to believe that grappling honesty with the nation's history and the current effects of systemic racism runs afoul of existing law.
That's not why
that is a bar.
No, that is not.
That is a bar.
That is not why they're doing this.
Oh,
that
absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
But that
this is gas. Go ahead.
Yo, this might be the bar of the month. Anyway, bar of the month. Terry Hartle, a senior vice president at the American Council on Education, a higher education trade group, called the investigation a taxpayer-funded, politically motivated fishing expedition, and said it was an unwarranted attack on genuine efforts to recognize and to right the wrongs of history. It's to their great credit that leading universities are asking themselves what they should have done differently in the past and what they will do differently in the future to be more welcoming and inclusive. The Trump administration declined to comment, of course, beyond acknowledging the authenticity of its letter to Princeton, which demanded a response within 21 days. It asked in its letter whether Mr. Action Movie Villain number one, when he said that racist assumptions remain embedded in structures of the university itself, was acknowledging that Princeton's assurances to the government and the public that it does not discriminate have been false and misleading. Mr. Action Movie Villain number one's letter cited as an example of systemic racism the fact that Princeton inherits from earlier generations at least 9 departments and programs organized around European languages and culture, but only a single relatively small program in African studies. The investigation follows a series of moves by the Trump administration challenging Ivy League universities. In August, after a 2-year investigation of a complaint by the Coalition of Asian American Organizations, the Justice Department accused Yale of violating federal civil rights law by illegally discriminating against white and Asian American applicants. The department demanded that the university stop considering race or national origin in its next admission cycle or face a federal lawsuit, and set a deadline of earlier this week for it to comply. Yale declined. but the department had not yet filed suit by Thursday because they were calling your bluff and you
Yep.
kind of checked them. 2 years ago, look at me defending Yale. What the fuck? Anyway, 2 years ago, the Justice Department publicly backed Asian American students in a lawsuit accusing Harvard of systemic discrimination. A federal judge ruled in Harvard's favor last year, but the government has continued to support the plaintiffs, including at a federal appeals hearing on Wednesday. Harvard and Yale have denied that their policies are discriminatory, saying their admissions processes adhere to both federal law and Supreme Court rulings that have generally supported affirmative action. Legal experts have described the Trump administration's move against the Ivy League schools as an extension of conservative legal efforts to end race-based college admissions policies, a battle that is expected to eventually reach a Supreme Court that leans more conservative after 2 appointments by President Trump. Let me just read a couple more of these quotes. There's no such thing as a nice form of race discrimination. Unlawfully dividing Americans into racial and ethnic blocks fosters stereotypes, bitterness, and division. At this unique moment in our history, when so much attention properly is being paid to the issues of race, Yale will not waver in its commitment to educating a student body whose diversity is a mark of its excellence. Several things here. One, so what you're telling me is the only reason that these people at these rallies, that these police departments all across the country are not being looked into federally is because they won't admit it? That's the only reason? Because they won't say that they were wrong. Yeah. That's the reason that they're not being, because that's what you're trying to lead me to believe.
Yeah.
That because they won't admit it, then it must not be racism.
This tactic that they're doing right here, this is what this is an attempt to do is to gaslight and dismantle. First of all, some of the biggest opposition to many of the conservative thoughts and narratives have come from Princeton, Harvard, Yale, right? So over the course of years, there has been more of an attempt at diversity at these colleges.
Absolutely, 100%.
But more so than that, a diversity of thought in the sense that traditional voices that was given all of the leeway before to frame conversations, frame lessons, frame the thoughts of the kids.
Yeah,
they have not had precedent in favor of the voices that have historically been silenced, the opinions that have been silenced, right? So that's where you get a lot of the opposition to a lot of the conservative theology, right? Coming from these places, which is why they're quick to attack these colleges by saying, oh, well, look what they're doing. They're indoctrinating the kids because they want to indoctrinate the kids with American exceptionalism and American myth crafting, right? In which all the stuff that happened that was bad, it was only a little bit bad, but we got over it and everything's cool now. That is the indoctrination they want. They don't want to talk about how Thomas Jefferson was a fucking rapist. And that's right, rapist, because you're not going to tell me with that power dynamic she loved him. Get the fuck out my face with that shit, all right? So what they're doing...
Stockholm Syndrome is the thing.
Stockholm Syndrome is the thing. But there is
I think that had to do with it because there was a story about she went to France with him. And when she was given the opportunity, because in France, she wasn't considered a slave. She was given the opportunity to stay and she chose to go back with him.
At that point,
Stockholm.
At that point, did they have kids?
No, not yet.
Okay.
That's simply Stockholm Syndrome, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, I still don't believe she loved him because Stockholm Syndrome ain't love.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
Because these places have put out papers, all kinds of journals and studies on these topics that dispute the conservative theology, the part of conservative theology that says everything's fine now and racism has gone away, and the real racists are the minorities. That part of it, they've been attacking. So what they're doing is trying to pull the Jenga shit from past shit, and then when Princeton admitted, because all of them have this shit. When they admitted it, now we can use this to attack your credibility on this issue, so you can't attack us anymore. So you don't have the moral high ground anymore, because now, have you been doing this? I'm telling you, this is part of the game. This is a deep fake for real. This whole idea that they are so concerned about, no, B, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. And then I'm telling you how they'll package it. They'll package it in campaigns as if they're fighting against racism. You know what I'm saying? That's how they'll package this shit. You know, they're not slick, yo. But I'll tell you, they are slick to people who don't know better.
Let me read this again. The investigation is a taxpayer-funded, politically motivated fishing expedition.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
And an unwarranted attack on genuine efforts to recognize and to right the wrongs and rectify of history.
Right. They don't want that. When they say "Make America Great Again," the reason why they have so much of a issue when people come up to them and say, "When was America great?" for all people, that's a sticking point that they can't seem to get over. Is because in their narrative, the true narrative behind the scene is that, it was great when we was doing what the fuck we wanted to do, and y'all couldn't. And y'all couldn't. And y'all couldn't. That's when it was great.
You get away with that, whatever you wanted to get away with.
That's when it was great. When we could do the fuck we wanted to do, and y'all couldn't, under pain of death. Where you could literally get your head cracked open for sitting at a countertop. You know what I'm saying? They're not slick, but they are slick to those of you who have bought into the American mythcraft. Those of you who pigeonhole what racism is into, they ain't lynch nobody, so they must not be racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, those that are predisposed to want to act like that stuff was a long time ago and it doesn't happen now, will readily accept that explanation because this is what they want to believe anyway. Also, our voices on this don't matter. Our experience, as evidenced by, we talked about earlier, the police brutality, right? We told you this shit was happening, and y'all said, no, it ain't. Y'all lying, y'all making it up. And then as soon as the videos come out, and we start saying,
he should have did this. He should have did that.
Right. Because the invested interest is not in being fair, not a true fairness. The invested interest is in toxic fairness. That's the invested interest. All right. So it's only cool when they can get away with everything that they fucking do, when they want to discriminate against where you can go, who you can be with, all of that shit, right? That's fine. That's when it was great. This time period now, where we talk back, it's not so great. This time period now, where you might get the absolute shit slapped out of you for saying certain shit to us out in these streets. It's not so great. It's not so great now.
Sorry, not really.
It's not so great now. It absolutely sucks for people that pretty much enjoy. Yo, Malcolm X said when he was a boy, they called him nigga so much he thought it was his name.
Yeah.
It must have been fun as fuck back then.
Oh.
It must have been fun as fuck.
You ever go around dropping hard R with no repercussions? What? No repercussions?
Yo, this
hard R. What?
So wait a minute. So you mean to tell me this 6'5", 250-pound Negro with the muscles, muscles, the size, muscles. You know what I'm saying? The size of a rhinoceros's head, right? I can call him all kinds of names, and he won't grab me by my neck and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze until my eyeballs pop out my head.
That is correct, sir.
That had to be fun as fuck.
Oh, I bet. They was having a good old time.
You mean to tell me, wait. So I can go into this job market and I don't have to worry about competition from them. So I'm really just competing with others in my demographic because they're never going to be eligible for this because we got them in that whole wagon wheel of we only want people that's qualified, but we make sure you're not qualified.
You can't possibly.
We're not racist. It's just that you're not qualified.
You're just not qualified.
Because we got a system in place qualified? To make sure you
because I don't want you to be.
Yeah.
So, I'm not really going to give you the resources to allow yourself.
That shit must have been fun as a month. Can you imagine how much fun that was?
Bruh, I'd like to know.
Bruh.
I'd like to experience it for a bit, for a hot second.
Yo, we made it so you can't make that amount of money to be able to, and we also have laws that say you can't live around us in areas that we can live, and we're going to make sure the areas we can live is nice. And not you what? You could go through a large percentage of your life only seeing Black people as that are working in jobs of servitude for you. That's how you see them, not as your competition or as your equal. That must have been fun as a motherfucker. Can you imagine? You imagine that shit?
I wish. I would like to be there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That had to be fun as a motherfucker. That's when it was great.
No, that's
when it was great.
The greatest damn country ever had.
You mean to tell me that motherfucking I could have been able to call Tombstone all kinds of names and he wouldn't have beat shit down my leg? Damn, that was good times. Yeah, man.
I'll answer that with maybe.
I could get on. Look,
I know too.
The substitute. Look, the substitute though is the online shit. I get to get online and talk crazy now. I can get online and talk crazy because he can't get his hands on my skull and crack
about it.
Right.
Yeah, I've reported so many races over the past 2 weeks, and all of them came back like, "Oh no, we didn't remove."
Like, yo, we are immune. We have immunity. What was that?
Yeah, we didn't remove this.
What was that sequel movie to Lethal Weapon? Where the motherfuckers from South Africa was like diplomatic immunity.
Facts.
Diplomatic immunity.
Yo,
going nowhere.
How do you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank giving all Black people diplomatic immunity as a form of recompense?
Well, I
scale of 1 to
10. Where we are now.
Yeah,
absolutely not. See, listen. Let me put y'all down with some shit. Because we don't want it to. I don't want it to make it seem like I am lying to shit that's happening. I was born and raised in Baltimore City, over on the west side. I came up a little before. But was old enough to, by the time I got old enough to understand shit and be involved in shit during the crack era. There are for whatever reason you want to give, there are absolutely some degenerates. In that subculture, there are some listen, there are people that I know from back during my time. I was living in the urban areas and sitting in Baltimore. There are people you absolutely better the fuck not give diplomatic immunity to. Nah, B. And I gotta say, some of the people I ran with.
I was just about to say that.
Nigga, no, absolutely not. No, absolutely what?
Listen,
no.
It would be the fair that they're always crying for.
Let me tell you what wound up happening. Let me tell you what wound up happening. All right. You can't give a broken people without attempting to fix that. Something there that, like I said, that small culture of criminality that is down for whatever. They also be included in the, there's no, who do you think they're gonna prey on? Who do you think they're gonna prey on? Nah, B. Absolutely not. Yo, right as soon as you said that, 10 names and faces popped in my head of, would you want this motherfucker with diplomatic immunity? No, hell no. Hell no.
Yo.
And I know if I thought about it long enough, that list would go up high as fuck.
Oh,
Hell
I'm
no.
certain. I'm certain. I'm just saying.
And the way to be honest, keep it 100 with you, the way my temper is set up, you don't want me with the Hispanic community either. Nah, B. No.
Hey.
No. Because somebody gonna say something crazy and I'm gonna do my Googles and find out addresses and fly to where when these motherfuckers is knock on this door and punch him dead in his motherfucking mouth. Like, nah.
Hey. Oh, well, there's nothing wrong with that. You have diplomatic immunity.
And look, soon the police come around, they're like, diplomatic immunity.
Like, oh, yo, imagine how wild that would be. The police come, they arrive, they get there. Oh, shit, it's a black guy.
Yeah. They have
we can't do anything, sir. Sir, I apologize. There's nothing we can do about this.
He burned down my home.
Matters none. Would you like us to take you to McDonald's? You can call somebody. You can use the Wi-Fi. I don't really know. There's really nothing else we can do.
He's diplomatic immunity.
Yeah, he has diplomatic immunity. We can't really do anything. I mean, we can ask him nicely not to do it again, but
see, this is when we go beyond the looking glass, because when that same dude does that to another black person with diplomatic immunity, everything implodes. Like literally,
he has to die.
Space time implodes the moment that happens.
I imagine it being a scenario where somebody does some fuck shit to somebody black, and then everybody else swarms them. Like you got what you wanted, but is this really what you wanted?
Because literally, you're gonna fuck it up for everybody. We got this diplomatic immunity, and now you doing no.
Yeah, you tripping because you're proving their point.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
Yeah, it would just be interesting. There would be
that's a word for it.
There would be
that's a word.
There would be several aspects of that I would be intrigued to figure out how they actually went in practice.
Man,
that's how I'll put it.
All I want,
some of it I know.
All I want is for them to make a best effort to make my family whole.
Yeah, that's it. That's really
shit they did.
That's really all that I'm asking for.
That's all. And no,
I have no issue with being a law-abiding citizen when the laws are fucking fair.
Yeah, when the laws are
decent.
fair. Listen, I'm not a kid anymore that thought that shit was cool to constantly be in some shit and to be into some shit. I'm not a kid anymore. That shit ain't fun. And honestly, the older you get, you should be outgrowing a lot of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
All I want, I'm a very simple dude, Joe. All I want is to be able to just fly my family the fuck out of here. that's all I want to do, yo. Like fly and start someplace else, yo. That's all. I'm a simple guy.
I would like to leave, and like America, this is all I want from you. I promise you. I want to be able to leave while still maintaining residency here, so that I can get money here.
Yeah.
And you leave me the fuck alone. Like that's really like best case scenario for me. Like
don't fuck with my bank accounts. Don't
that shit. Like I'll pay my taxes. Don't worry about that. Like
because I still have family over here.
Yeah, I'll keep a place here.
Yeah, I still got family.
I'll keep a residence here, so that I live here. Right. I just don't be here. Like but you don't need to know that I don't be here. Like this is my address.
No, literally you could get
dual
citizenship.
Yeah,
and the only reason why to keep dual citizenship is to listen. Motherfuckers come over here all the time and take advantage of the economic system over here, make money, go back home, and helps to fund their lifestyle, and they bring that money back into their countries of origin and all that shit. I want to be able to do the exact same thing. I want to be able to do the exact same thing, but I don't want to. I do not need for my day to day to be here. Give me internet, running water. You know what I'm saying? Yo, and a place to get food.
For the bare necessities.
The one thing I learned them 5 days in Belize is that there is a certain level that I am willing to accept. I'm willing to accept as far as infrastructure. I started to feel like, nah, B, what's happening is motherfuckers are addicted to infrastructure. You're addicted to a certain type of infrastructure. That shit comes with a cost here. It comes with a cost. So if I can go someplace else and help them build where that cost isn't there, why not do it?
Yeah.
You know? Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Last topic. White skies.
Oh my.
United Airlines being sued for allegedly filling NFL airplanes with white women for players. That sentence right there. That is a sentence, my guy.
Is it?
According to a new lawsuit, United Airlines knows the NFL players like white women. That's another sentence right there. So they choose women based on their race and pack them in the plane. My question is, okay. The suit is brought by 2 veteran flight attendants who allege that United Airlines chooses the women entirely on their racial and physical attributes and stereotypical notions of their allure.
Y'all can't do that, man.
The attendants who brought the lawsuit consist of a Jewish woman who's been with the airline for 34 years and a black woman who's been with the airline for 28 years.
Jeez.
According to the 2 flight attendants bringing the lawsuit, I'm not even going to attempt to say that name. So I'm going to skip both names. They were told by the airline that they wouldn't be able to get them work on the planes because they weren't on the preferred lists that were based on the team's preferences. The 2 said they then noticed that all the women on the planes were young, white, blonde women. They said they filed complaints with the airline but were ignored. The lawsuit alleges that United Airlines has adopted and continues to implement procedures that are designed to ensure that young, white, blonde hair, blue-eyed female employees receive positions with the charter program, while more senior and black and Jewish employees, such as the plaintiffs, do not. They are seeking monetary and punitive damages.
Okay, so there's 2 ways I could go with this. I'm probably going to go both ways, but I'm trying to figure out which one to do first. Okay, so there's a part of this that is fucking hilarious, right?
Absolutely fucking hilarious.
And then there's the other part of this that is not so funny. So I'm gonna go with the part that's not so funny.
First.
Do that first because I want to end. I'm gonna end with
absolutely
funny shit.
Yeah,
So
got you.
United Airlines, stop it. First of all, you're literally penalizing these workers for not having the a certain phenotype. What part of the Civil Rights Bill did you not understand? What part of the Civil Rights Bill did you not understand? Right? Like you're so out of line. But here's the other thing about that, right? So, and I told motherfuckers this before. This is how they always do. All right. So the stereotype is one thing. When Kanye, just take Kanye for instance, decided, I'm a reverend president. We find out later that he was in talks with Jared Kushner to throw that out there because this was some attempt to try to pull some of the vote. Why? Because the stereotype in their minds is rappers. Niggas love rappers. Just put some rapper up there and that'll distract the right.
It's kind of the same thing.
You know what's crazy about that? All stereotypes come
Where the white women at?
You burying the lead.
No, my bad.
You burying the lead. All stereotypes come from a place. So I was so disappointed was so not surprised when I saw black people taking that. Some black people, not I'm gonna put a sub culture of black people who are willing to just accept anything that comes out of Kanye's mouth or whatever. They was taking that shit seriously, and I'm sitting there looking. I saw that shit. I saw the comments and shit of motherfuckers actually discussing this. Like, this is the thing, and I'm sitting there going, "Are you fucking nuts?" Yes, you absolutely are.
I'm about to say, yeah, that's a rhetorical question.
Yeah,
I'm the biggest Kanye fan you'll probably find, and there's absolutely no way that I'm listening to the majority of the shit that comes out of his.
No, nigga, you have to amend that. You're not a Kanye fan. You're a fan of his work.
Sure,
you are not a fan of the person.
That's true.
He's not somebody that you would be annoyed if he didn't do music. You'd be annoyed.
Listen, if he didn't do music, he would probably be in the same exact boat as. No, the only reason he would be in he would be in an adjacent boat that's a little bit behind Candace Owens.
Right.
Yeah,
like that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not a fan of him as a person.
No, you're right.
You're a fan of his work. You know what I'm saying? So
that's fair.
Again, like they use these stereotypes and all of that. It's disgusting, but this is how they. You remember Ice Cube years ago on his album, like this is what they think about you. Yeah, this is what they think about you. They think about y'all love rappers.
It's funny you quoted another person with a white wife, but I'm not gonna.
And a rapper.
I'm not gonna. Yeah. So yeah.
Here's the thing about you. You know. Again, I didn't know Ice Cube had a wife. I thought his wife was black.
Yeah. No, I'm joking. I'm
your
joking.
ass. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's disgusting. They constantly do this. It's insulting as a motherfucker. And that's where United Airlines is at. They deserve to get sued for that. I'm in support of them women that's suing, because that's some bullshit. Now on to the funny.
Wait, before you do that, the temerity, the audacity, the unmitigated gall, the tomfoolery, the privilege,
right,
the ignorance, the stupidity,
the white supremacy.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Do dirt, right? Do your dirt. Go ahead, do your dirt. However,
please don't co-sign me. Go ahead.
However, there are rules.
There are rules to this.
Whether you want to talk about the 10 crack commandments, whatever you want to talk about, there are rules to this shit. Why do you think?
Yo, Napalm said they deserve to get a crack at some millionaire brutes too.
Listen. Why the words that I use to describe this thing at the beginning of this diatribe are for one single simple reason. You did this wrong. Why would you have all?
Yeah.
All?
Yeah.
You couldn't throw one or two people in there to throw the scent off?
Nah, B, listen.
No, everybody.
This where we at now. It's upfront. No cut cards. The mask is off. And this is where we are. They not.
And here's the issue. Let's put the tinfoil hats on for a second. Let's say that these specific teams are responsible for this list.
Okay.
And United Airlines is getting sued. Now they're in between a rock and a hard place, because if you take it on the chin, then you got to deal with all the consequences.
Yep.
If you out your co-conspirator,
they don't fuck.
Then you got to deal with the consequences.
They don't fuck with you no more. Right?
Oh my God! What were you thinking?
I got to be honest. Like, I don't think that's worth it for them.
There got to be some guy named Chad. Chad, what the fuck were you thinking? Chad, please explain to me why you thought this was a good idea. Like, you didn't Nothing to throw the scent off. Like nothing. Absolutely not. You just want to go full steam ahead.
Full on white supremacy.
Where the white women at? Like,
Yeah.
that's we just straight up. Okay, got you. You got it. You got that.
But now here's the thing. Remember what I said earlier? Remember when I said earlier that stereotypes come from places.
They come from places.
Things that are demonstrable, even if it's not in the numbers that they try to make it out to people. There. How many times has the conversation in our community been about these guys that will start playing sports, become actors, get any sort of career of financial and noticeability where they get put out there so the public knows who they are, so they get these reps, these cool reps. This is definitely somebody that is blah blah blah.
And when he get on, he get on a white girl.
How many times? So you know how funny it is to read this and hear them say,
"Oh my God."
Hear them say, let me pull this out. Has adapted and continues to implement procedures that are designed to ensure that young, white, blonde, blue-eyed female employees receive because they're preferable to the NFL. But now, motherfuckers will say, every time somebody from our community bring this up, and I'm put like that, every time a black woman brings this up, she get gaslit. Like a motherfucker. She gets told, why you being racist? Love don't have a color. You don't know how they feel about each other. You don't know them as people. And then we see some shit like this. Well, United Airlines is basically and their stated reason, because they know NFL players like the white women. What the fuck? So all that gaslighting the motherfuckers was doing to black women who were just observing they was just making a statement of the obvious. Like, this is what we don't all see that. We don't see that.
No, that's the thing.
That's not a status. Y'all not looking at that like it's a status symbol. These motherfuckers have verified.
It's what happened.
Right. Like, fuck out of here.
It's in the lawsuit. It's what happened.
Where the white women at?
Where the white women at?
Because the NFL players prefer come on, this is what they're saying. Really?
I mean,
but like I said, when a black woman say that, she bitter, she angry, she just don't understand. See, that's why y'all can't get married stuff, because y'all just all that bullshit.
Sure. Let's go with that. Not any of the other thousands of reasons that are readily apparent on a day-to-day basis
that they're now admitting to, because there are no cut cards.
This is
now.
What's wrong. Yeah,
they're now admitting all that shit. They're now admitting to, because once you got a jackass in the position to say the quiet part loud all the fucking time, it kind of emboldens people.
That just made me realize you don't even have to spy on this motherfucker.
No, for what?
No tapes need to be left.
And nobody did. He's a lying sack of shit. He's a lying sack of shit. Ain't nobody. Come on, man. That's another case of somebody trying to be a victim because they had their life has been on the easy mode of a video game forever. And they looking for any reason to be a victim. Fuck out of here. Your toilets are gold, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here.
Literally, though.
You cannot have a gold toilet and then come to me talking about you a victim about something.
You cannot possess a gold toilet.
Fuck out of here.
You literally are pissing
you can't. And all you fucking broke ass, one paycheck away from being at a shelter ass motherfuckers. All you motherfuckers who know damn well all it takes is one health scare and your family is destitute to run up there and try to be a bullet shield for motherfuckers that got gold toilets. Fuck you. You deserve to be broke. You deserve to be broke. Fuck out of here.
Without question. Yeah, man, this is honestly hilarious. I'm not even gonna. I tried to.
This is the stereotype made life. Like the black sports guy with the white. This is a stereotype.
This writes itself. This writes itself. No, there's no that. It is the punchline. Like, what do you mean? Like that?
Like,
or my Will Smith from Hitch.
Yeah.
It's there. It's right there.
It's right there. It's right there.
What were you thinking?
They weren't thinking.
Clearly, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. That's what it was. That's what it is. It didn't matter.
Hey man, look, I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna chop all this up for not listening to Marcus. Y'all niggas ain't listening to Marcus, and now. And now United Airlines. Y'all niggas ain't listening to Marcus. And now United Airlines is out there piling up planes with white women for NFL players.
Literally, though. Serving them on a platter.
Yo, first of all, gotta say, how insulting is that?
Right. Like, y'all
for them. How insulting.
Right, so those of you that don't benefit or don't want to benefit in that way should have an issue with this.
Yo, it's low-key human trafficking, yo. Y'all can say what you want. It's low-key human trafficking.
It's some weird cocktail of human trafficking and grooming. Like, what are we
on a platter?
Are these ye old ages?
Apparently, those ages aren't as old as you think. I'm just saying. Listen, but
that's the thing.
Yo, but see, here's the thing. You put this all together, right? So we didn't really want to talk about this today, so I'm not going to go in detail about it. But Ruth Bader Ginsburg died last night. That has complications and repercussions that are going to be felt for a long time to come. But we're living in an era where those rights that women fought for are in danger like a motherfucker. Yeah. They are in danger like a motherfucker, right? And you're going to have some dude go up there and do that shit. They're going to never go some men will go up there and take away their fuck or attempt.
Next
to take
thing
away
you know,
rights.
it's going to be a lawsuit against some NFL team for inappropriate behavior on a United Airlines flight.
And this is the other issue I have with this. So these NFL players, they get up there. It's a party. Obviously, it's a party plane. This is soul plane.
Clearly,
obviously, right?
Yo, that's funny.
Obviously, right?
That is hilarious.
When dudes up there in first class and they drinking, they having parties and motherfuckers, and of course, like you said, these are for women that I am assuming that some of these women at the very least is like, shit, this is an opportunity. This might be a come up, right?
I'm certain.
So the chase is on. The game is afoot, right? So can you imagine when somebody gets out of line and then some shit happens and they realize, well, I'm not going to be able to marry this motherfucker and take his money, but I can damn sure sue his his drunk gropey ass.
Absolutely.
If you're
setting yourself up for failure.
If I was one of them, which I never would be, but if I was one,
not a blonde white woman.
No, I ain't talking about the woman. I'm talking about the NFL.
Oh, okay, got it.
I would smell. I'm from the hood. I smell setup. Yeah. No, B, dude, you got a private flight leaving about it. I'm not fucking with them. You're not setting me up for some shit.
Because I would probably at some point be like, yo, have you noticed that every single flight we take,
that's a
white blonde?
That is a great point. What if, like, they're doing this not through the express permission of the NFL players, but through their observed preference.
Right.
So they're doing this to keep them to come back, to keep coming back, blah, 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 right? So what if they started to catch on like, hold up, yo, every
single time?
I've
never black people. That's another way stereotypes start. Black people aren't flight attendants.
Yeah.
There are no there can't be. Every time I get on a plane, it's nothing but white women.
Right. Black people don't do that for a living.
Paul said, put me on a flight with Shanika, please.
Yo, he's stupid. He's stupid. He's
I
stupid.
can't even really argue. Like,
I don't know, man.
Have you noticed that every single flight, like every
That's
flight,
that's a setup,
not
yo.
just some, like literally every flight we're on,
That's a setup, yo.
there's nothing but blonde white women that are the flight attendants.
Setup.
Every time?
It's a setup, B. Like,
every single time. Like, nah, man.
It's a setup, yo. Listen, anything can happen. Like that, literally, I don't know who's being served up to who, to be honest.
Right.
NFL players, white women. So
right. Both of you are puppets
in this United Airlines orgy system.
I quit. All right, yeah. Orgy system is how we're ending the episode. Orgy system.
Listen, we want to thank all of you that came out to this show today.
Orgy system.
To hear stories of orgy systems and low key, low budget human trafficking and shit.
Right.
We appreciate y'all listening to our crazy asses. Yo, Napalm said that flight is Babylon.
See?
That flight is Babylon. Yo, like, we appreciate y'all though. Seriously. Everybody that showed up for the live and all the people that are listening, on the playback on Spotify. We really appreciate you guys. Your continued.
Don't forget, don't leave out the Apple people.
Oh, and the people that are on all. I'm just gonna say all the goddamn streaming services. Yeah. But yeah, like, your participation and engagement is the reason why we continue to do this show. And also, we like to talk shit, so that kind of has a little bit to do with it.
Little bit
to do with it. So for my man SPJ,
I
am Tombstone the Dead Man, and for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.
Babylonian orgy system.